And we are live, everybody.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? I already see the chat's already active here. We got Alana, you got Jessica, Squishy Fox. I forget your actual name. I apologize. But if you know anything about me, I forget everybody's name. Pronounce Jock's name wrong sometimes. Sometimes I say Isa instead of Isa. I'm always wrong. But yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight.
It's a full house.
I just smacked the table. It's probably heard that vibration through the microphone. I don't know why I did that, but apologize if you hear it. Yeah, there's a full house tonight. Of course, there's me. You're sick of seeing my face. And then we got Jock here, who hasn't been on. Well, you were on last week with me.
I was on last week, Mike.
That's right.
You were here. You don't remember?
No, that's my memory. David is lagging over there with the Al Borland shirt.
A little.
And we have a guest. It is. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello. My name is Isabel. Also known as Bravocado on Twitch. Also known as Maya Castillo in The Expanse. Thank you guys so much for having me join you today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, everything is barely functioning, as you can see. David's lagging. My mouth is occasionally going off a little bit. Jacques perfectly fine. And when Isa came in the Discord chat thing, video call, whatever the hell you want to call it, she was upside down, so nothing's working. So,
that's showbiz.
That's how it goes.
That's usually how it goes.
Yes, there's 4 of us this time, Jessica. Philip is my actual name. That's what Squishy Fox said. Okay. I won't remember that. You know what? No pen. Forget it. Never mind. I'll try and remember that.
No, you won't.
So how's everybody doing? Well, besides the chat. Well, I want to know how you guys are doing too, but how's everybody doing in the call right now? How has your day been? David, I know we were all up late last night until like 3:30 in the morning, so I had to actually take a nap.
Right. Well, I got to sleep in a little, so that was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I was dragging ass. We definitely shouldn't have stayed up till 3:30 a.m.
No. That was bad.
We should have recorded the whole thing because it would have been a great show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, see, our friend Sean, we were talking with last night, he had the right idea. He got off at the appropriate time, and then we stay on for another 3 hours just talking bullshit. Isa, how's your day going? How you been doing?
So good. I'm pretty tired. I feel like I've been going nonstop just this last week in general. I worked this morning, dealing with the general public, so that's always a good time. And came home, made some enchiladas, and now I'm here.
Oh, making me hungry.
I love enchiladas. They're my favorite.
This was my first time making them. I've had them before. I've ordered them at restaurants, but I've just never made them myself.
Really? Are they hard to make?
No, not at all.
No.
I didn't even really follow a recipe. I just kind of put things where I thought they should go, and then I put enchilada sauce. Then you have enchiladas.
Yeah, mine always fall apart.
Every time I talk to somebody who's like, who's this is what I have for dinner, mine's always so boring. I'm just like a really boring cook. I eat like ground turkey and a potato and spinach, and that's my meal. And everybody's like, I had enchiladas, or I had chicken stir fry. I had this. I made this massive feast, and I'm just sitting here like eating my dry, plain food. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I don't. For me, I don't get me wrong, I love food, but there are days where I treat it as like a resource, an energy. I have to replenish myself, and today is just one of those days. I didn't care what it was. I was just like, all right, that's got all the nutrients. I'm good.
It's edible.
That's it.
I'll take it.
That's all I need. Hey, how's it going, Urkel? Hello. Welcome to this dysfunctional show. All right. Anyways, you're doing good? Oh, that's good to hear. Happy to hear that, actually. Yeah, so I woke up today. I'm off on the wrong foot like immediately when I woke up, because once again I had that really bad leg cramp because my leg was just bent as I was sleeping. Like went all the way back, and I didn't realize, and I moved it, and muscle just started pushing right out of my thigh.
Ow.
That is the worst. When you like have the cramps from like sleeping in a weird position all night. It hurts so bad when you wake up.
I can't. It's a great alarm clock though, because pain will definitely wake you up. So just remember that.
I've been having something similar with my neck.
Oof.
Like it's just one side of my neck in the middle of the night. Like it just gets stuck like this, and it's just like throbbing pain on this side.
And what kind of pillow do you use?
The same kind that I've used for the past 10 years. It's like, I don't know, the Walmart special side sleeper pillow, 5,000.
That's what I have, the Walmart special.
That could be it. Oh, let me just make a recommendation. Have you ever used the purple pillow?
No, I have not.
This is not an ad, I swear, but I wish it was. Trust me. The purple, I have it right behind me though. These things are bar none the most comfortable pillows I've ever slept on. Like you will not have neck problems.
Why is it so comfortable? What's
It's like I can't even explain the design. Honestly, it's like such a weird design. It's because it's got like the memory foam type of stuff, but it also has like this kind of weird hexagonal pattern thing inside.
Okay.
Is it like the same as the mattress? Because the mattress, it looks like an egg carton almost.
Yeah, I have the mattress too. Yeah, the mattress is amazing. Let me tell you. But yeah, it's very weird. I've like never seen a mattress. It's like got this grid kind of pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it's made out of, but it sure is comfy. I'll tell you that.
No matter what I sit on, it could be the most comfortable thing. My body just refuses to be comfortable. It finds a way to find pain. Like the other. I don't know what it is. But that's how I've always been. Like I've literally sat in like extremely comfortable, massive recliner, leather, highly expensive seats, and I'm still uncomfortable sitting in it.
I feel like I'm the opposite.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I was gonna say I feel like I'm the opposite. I could, and I have, and could sleep anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Concrete floor, stairs.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Pile of trash.
That can be comfortable depending on what kind of trash you're laying on. Let's be honest.
It's true. It's true.
There's just a ton of pillows in a trash bag, and that's the trash.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Fabric scrap.
Yeah.
Hey George, how's it going? Sorry I'm late. What do you mean you're late? 9 minutes. Consider that late. I mean, this isn't a job. I mean, if you show up 9 minutes late at a job, that doesn't look good, but I've gone to movies 9 minutes late. That I don't recommend because then you miss the beginning. Let's see. Yeah, Urkel, we do learn from pain. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you on that.
So how did movie night go?
Oh, movie night. Yes, we did watch that movie last night. It was Dungeons and Dragons. Honor Among Thieves. Is that the subtitle?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. You know, Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez was in it, which helped. One of my favorite actors. So,
She was in it.
yeah, she is in a lot of it. Actually, she's in a lot of the fight scenes. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun, goofy movie. I mean, if you're into D&D, which I'm not, and I still enjoyed it, so it is a good time. It does lean more towards the comedy aspect. It doesn't take itself seriously at all, which
it's
that can
more
be a
of
good thing or bad thing depending on you look at it.
More of the old slapstick kind of comedy. You know, that's what I got from the movie. It was more for the gags and slapstick than anything else. Nothing like the original movie.
I was fine with it though. I mean, it didn't bother me. The friends who I was watching it with, I know one friend, I don't know if she's in the chat right now, but she absolutely hates the movie. She doesn't like it.
Really?
I can see some people just hating it.
I think it just comes down to what are your expectations for this film, and mine were like nothing going in. So I don't know. I thought it was fine.
I feel like it's a movie that anybody can enjoy, though. Like even if you don't play D&D.
No,
because I think I played D&D a few times, but I'm not like super into it. But I thought the movie was great. It was hilarious.
Does it almost
and-
like make fun of D&D a little
Yes.
bit?
Yes.
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 Oh, okay.
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
It pokes holes at it a lot throughout the movie to show how kind of silly it can be.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't have. I was looking. It did very well across the board. There's a lot of people who like it, consumer wise and critic wise. Like they really love the movie. So I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. But it was. It's just a popcorn flick at the end of the day. I think that's how I would describe it. It's a popcorn flick.
Mhm.
Oh, and Issa, Justice Smith is in it too, who played your favorite character, Ryan, on The Quarry.
He is.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. It was him.
Yep. I think he plays a wizard.
Yes, he plays the wizard of the
Yeah.
group. Yeah. I thought he looked familiar because I was just watching the other night. I was watching you
I
Issa
see it.
playing the Quarry. I noticed. I was like, he looks like him, but I just assumed like it's just a coincidence. I'm like, that's probably not him. But I didn't realize that was him. Okay, I actually am. All right. I don't know. But yeah, we watched it in VR lately. That's what we've been doing. We've been watching it once a week. We watch a movie in VR, and that gives you the illusion of going to the theater without having something every week. So I don't know. You know what? That's distracting me. I always see it in your stream, but I see Matthew McConaughey over there. Just
Just looking at you, just watching. He's part of this conversation too, you
of
know?
course he is.
Yeah.
He's here in spirit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait, what'd you say? Oh, he says hi.
Hi, Matthew. Is that the one from Tropic Thunder? Where he's like, you have that sound clip bite, I think, where he's like, we got to pump those numbers up. Like every time you get a follower.
That sound clip is from Wolf of Wall Street. I think this was
you're
just
right.
a photo op that he did.
Yeah.
I printed this photo from a Walgreens forever ago, so I don't even know what it's from. It's just followed me all these years.
Yeah. I just
I
saw
mean,
a show
yeah, go
that he's in. It was a few years ago. It was on Max, I think. He plays a detective.
Is it True Detective?
True Detective.
Oh yeah.
It was season 1. It was actually really good. I was surprised. It was kind of slow getting going, but he did a really good job in his character.
Yeah, he did. That is an insanely good one season of television. Probably, like, no lie, one of the best of all time.
So I wasn't done with Matthew McConaughey. So I assume he's your favorite actor, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It has to be because you have a picture.
Because I have a picture of it on my wall. Yeah.
I had to make sure. So,
What gave it away?
I don't know. I used to know somebody who had a it was a really long poster, and it was a couple too. It was like a married couple, but they had it's funny because they had it in the living room, and it was this really long, massive poster from ceiling to the floor of what's his name? Adam Sandler. That's who it was. Just a really long poster of him just sitting in the back. It was, and around him there was like pictures of him too as well. So there's like little like pictures. It was like basically a shrine, not like that, but literally a shrine of Adam Sandler. So, don't know. I
So
nothing wrong with that, but
would your favorite movie, Isa, be Magic Mike?
It is a good one. I love him in Interstellar for sure. I love Interstellar.
That was a really good movie. Yeah.
I think that's definitely one of my favorite movies. But also, why am I forgetting the name of it? It's the very first movie he ever did.
Oh.
Shock, you're the movie expert here. You should know that like instantly.
Yeah, but I'm also getting older and my brain's not working quite as well as it used to.
Jessica said you froze. Who froze? Who froze? Was it me? The timer isn't counting down anymore. What timer? Now I'm confused by the chat. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, no timer.
What time? George said I would have posters of Halle Berry if I could find any. What are you talking about? If you could find any, you could find
You can
them.
find them. Oh, they're out there.
Mhm.
Also, Dazed and Confused.
It was for a minute.
Yeah.
You guys are good
Yeah.
now. Okay.
That's a great like cult classic.
Love it. It's such a good movie.
Okay. I'm glad you're keeping us on our toes, chat, about the connection because I'm not very confident with it right now. So, all right.
Well, I don't have any big traffic going on, although there appears to be some gaming in the next room.
So we're gonna blame the person there. Okay. I see you all now. Whoa, did we really cut out for a minute? I don't know.
I think we're good now.
We're good now? All right. So I wanted to talk about, well, actually there's quite a couple things I wanted to bring up, but Isa, you're here. There's something I've been dying to ask you. I didn't want to ask you on your stream, but so you obviously we know now you're in the Telltale Expanse game. How did you get that role? Because I thought you said a while ago you're mainly just focused with live action. Like, how did that come to be? Like, was that word of mouth, or was that
No,
did you apply for it?
Really neither. So I got it through my agent in Colorado. So the game was made, yes, by Telltale, but also by Deck Nine at Deck Nine Studios, and their location is in Colorado. So I got an audition through my agent, and they didn't initially say what it was for. Well, actually, I think they might have at least said that it was a video game. But they didn't say anything else after that. They just said, here's an audition. And that's typically what it's like. At least what I've heard what it's like for video games is they won't always necessarily say exactly what it's for or what it is. They'll just kind of give you an audition and then say, act monkey, and then you do. And then if they like you, then they bring you back and they have you do it again.
But yeah, you're going in completely blind then. You don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, they had told me, actually, speaking of Michelle Rodriguez, they had given me, I think like a series of like 5 to 10 lines that they just wanted me to perform vocally, like just VO. And one of the, I guess, inspirations that they kind of told me to keep in mind for this character was Michelle Rodriguez. And so I recorded the lines in my parents' closet because I was house sitting for them at the time on their floor with my phone and sent it into them. And they liked it enough to have me come back in for a callback.
Sweet.
And went back in for the callback, which was very intimidating. Just entering into a mocap room, which, you know, David, I'm sure you're very familiar with it, but it's very white, very sterile, a lot of lights and technology everywhere. It looks expensive. It looks very expensive. I was afraid to lead on stuff.
Usually it is, but
Yeah. And then, you know, they give you material to prep ahead of time. I performed said material and they liked it. And I came back in for a second audition or a second callback. Same process, you know, gave me material to prep, went in. And then I think maybe like a week later, I want to say, I got an email from my agent and they're like, they want to book you for it. And I was like, this is great.
That must have been a great feeling.
Oh, it was amazing. I was laying on my couch. I think I had just gotten home from work or the gym or something. And I was just laying on my couch and I got the little email notification sound. And I just immediately started crying. And I called Potato and I was like, they booked me for it. They want to hire me for it. And he was like, I knew they would. Of course they would. Because he's my number one fan. So he had to say that.
Of course.
Yeah.
He has to. It's no choice.
Yeah, it's part of the whole marriage thing. Like, you know,
Yes.
yeah.
So, I'm assuming. Okay, so when you were on the charity stream with Deck Nine, some of the guys over at Deck Nine, you played a clip. So I'm assuming that was the one that you sent them, for the audition. Was it that clip?
That was one of the ones that I sent them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was like a total of 5 short little lines or monologues that they had me read, that they just wanted to hear if I could capture the emotion of, what they were looking, Michelle Rodriguez or whatever.
So they think you could pull off of Michelle Rodriguez. So that's what they were looking for. Okay.
Interesting.
Apparently.
Interesting.
She's a pretty big action star. I'm just saying,
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that they told me later that the reason that they ended up casting me is because I'm a very soft individual. I feel like the way that I speak is very soft. My voice is very quiet. And so initially when I was presented the role of this like soldier, badass space woman, it was very intimidating to me because I didn't know what that looked like. But they had told me that the reason that they cast me was because I brought a softness to her that other actors didn't have. Other actors would come in and it was very like, like your stereotypical soldier, Michelle Rodriguez characters.
They wanted somebody who would moments where the character, their guard's down and they're more calm and more chill and natural speaking and calming with their voice. I'm assuming the others were just going directly for that aggressive tone with the character. Yeah.
You brought your own interpretation to the table, and it's like wherever I know with a lot of other folks, they will try to imitate almost to the T, and that's what they think that we're expecting, but it's not. It's we want to see what you can bring to the table and what your interpretation of who Michelle Rodriguez is going to be like. And by it to me it kind of sounds like because you were able to bring a little bit of softness to it, a little bit of feminine to a role that is masculine by definition, it makes it comes across better in audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it gives the character more range.
Yeah.
Instead of just one half. Yeah.
I just want to say, because I am playing The Expanse right now. I wanted to finish it before you came on here, but I just, life busy. I am going to finish it though, I promise. But I did finish at least the first episode, which I'm really enjoying, by the way. But that softness immediately came through. Now that you say that, I can totally see that. Because I didn't know what to expect. I talked to Mike, and I knew who you were, and so when it first you first appear, and then as it goes on, I'm like, oh wow, she actually has like a really big role in this game. And I felt like that, like you said, you're used to like the hardened soldier, So I did think that took me a little bit off guard, like that softness. I'm still I swear, if you turn on me though, because I'm distrustful. You already played a prank on me, and you got me.
I won't say anything.
Yes,
I won't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it either, but I just want to say I was floating in space, and you pulled the prank on me, and you got me. So I was like, ever since then, I'm I'm keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
I will say I've watched several playthroughs. I've watched people play it on Twitch, and I'm surprised how many people have that initial gut feeling about Maya. And thinking like, I don't know about her. Like right off the bat, it surprises me.
I think people just naturally are distrustful, but I think I don't know, but that might just be like a what's the word? Words are hard, but that may just be like a thing where you play it so well that people just automatic, because you have this group and it's you're kind of thrown together, so it's there's all kinds of different backgrounds and things, and you don't know who to trust at first, and especially since you're out there in the belt. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I honestly lost my train of thought.
I'm just
good job,
you try to finish
it. Good job. I'm just rambling on, so just save me, please.
I felt like that even with Kamina Drummer in the show. I felt like, who's this?
Yeah.
She's kind of, I'm like, I don't know. This person's pulling something behind the curtains. But yeah, I won't go into the character any more than that. But if you haven't seen the show, I'll leave it at that. But I hate to break it to you, Issa. Kamina Drummer's my favorite character in The Expanse, so I hold her higher than you. Hope you forgive me. I saw that coming.
We lost her.
You.
It is off. Bye bye. Because you did a lot of without going into it, you did a lot of scenes with Kamina Drummer's Karaji character. I guess I'll just, before I ask you this question, I just saw something in the chat. First time in the chat, Case Swins. I don't know who you are, but thank you for joining us. Your question just threw me for a loop. It just says thoughts on the aliens. What aliens are we talking about? Are you talking about like our interpretation of what we think about possible real life aliens? Or are you talking about aliens from The Expanse? I need more context than that. I have no idea what you're talking about. So,
yeah, we could get philosophical if you want to talk about aliens later, but be more specific.
Since we're on the topic of The Expanse, I would assume he's talking about The Expanse.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to spoil much into it. There's some alien activity in the series, but I don't want to go into it. It's kind of complicated. What was the question I was going to ask? Oh, yes. Did you? Because David, you can help me with this, because I know some studios, they have the actors kind of like Sony and stuff. They'll have them. We were just talking about this the other night. They'll have them like rehearse their own lines next to each other, but they're just trying to motion capture their body. That's the main reason why they're doing it. Did you do any scenes with Karaji herself, or did they separate all of you guys?
No, we did all of our scenes together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think the only time that we didn't, I had an injury. I think it was in like episode 2 or 3. I don't remember. I had an injury sometime during that time that landed me in the hospital. So I physically was not able to be there. And for the scenes that we were filming that week, we ended up having Lily, who plays Khan, be my body, essentially. The magic of mocap.
Yeah.
Oh, you could do tricks with that. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't even tell. Khan, she plays the pilot, correct? That's the pilot. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She did an awesome job too, by the way.
Yeah. She did great.
Really does a good old woman voice.
Mm.
I actually just assumed they just got somebody up in age, but then I looked and it was who it was who was in Life is Strange, True Colors. I was like, that's her? Because that's the thing I've noticed. People have a hard time hiding their voices when they do other roles, but I didn't even recognize her at all, which is a good thing.
So Lily wasn't in Life is Strange. I think you're thinking of...
oh, wait. So who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of... Why am I'm forgetting everybody's name right now? Erica Mori. You're thinking of Erica Mori.
Oh, okay. Who? I'm getting people confused. Regardless, so my point still stands that she did change her voice drastically to sound like an older person, and which is not easy. I mean, I know I forget her name. She does Jacques Clementine from the Walking Dead series.
Yeah, I also don't remember her name, but yeah, I know what you mean.
She did like an awesome in the 2013, the first game, which it was Clementine's like 8-9 years old, maybe 7, somewhere around there, and she really pulled off a really good kid's voice. Like I couldn't even tell, like that was an adult doing it.
Yeah,
so,
which is hard to do.
To
make it sound convincing, like an actual child and not an adult doing a child.
Hi, Unicorn. Welcome. I know that name. I've seen that before. Maya is my favorite from the game. She's such a wonderful character. Oh, you're just sucking up. You're making me look bad for picking Karaji's character. Okay. Yeah, no, you did do a very good job with the character. And I'm not just saying that because I'm pretty blunt. I would just come out and say it and say, yeah, sorry. But no, you did a very good job considering this is basically like your first, well, it's your first main role in a video game, and you got a lead character. And I know that takes a lot of it takes a lot of work to get to keep that kind of a role and to be consistent throughout the story. You did have range throughout it, especially in the episode 4 section that I can't talk about.
I know what you're talking about.
Because of one of my decisions led to this section of the game, which I still have to go back and see the other parts of it. Yeah, that was. I'll keep my mouth shut because I don't want to spoil it for you.
I'm playing it, please, Mike, don't spoil it.
So, but no, everybody did a very good job in it. I think overall that game probably has the best engine I've seen in a Telltale game, like the physics.
Oh yeah,
in a Telltale game, because in previous Telltale games, I know the engine was limited. Like when things would explode, characters would just be like, or just like a really weird, awkward dodge and stuff like that. But they definitely are working on a brand new engine. They have a new engine. It's obvious because it's very different. It's not the same. Things move more realistic in the game than before in the previous entries they've done. Deck 9 did a very good job at capturing the essence of the old feels of the old Telltale games and how they feel, and they did it themselves. Because I'm not sure who in the Telltale team did the previous ones, the older ones before they were rebranded essentially to the new team that there are now. But they did do a very good job in that regard. I don't think there will be a sequel, just based off how it ends. But you never know, I suppose. David, did you play The Expanse yet or no?
No, I've not played The Expanse, the Telltale game yet. Yeah, no.
You've seen the show though, right?
Oh, of course.
They so I know it was Karji was in it, and there was a few other. I'm not gonna say her name. I can't pronounce it. Maybe Issa, you can pronounce it. In the DLC, that actress with the amazing Morgan Freeman type style voice.
Sheree?
It's the closest we're gonna get.
She plays Christian Ava Sarala. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. She's awesome. I love her.
And she don't need to hide her voice. I don't want her to change her voice because she's got one of those voices.
It's
like
iconic.
Morgan Freeman.
I want her for to do the voiceover for my game. I think she would be a great Lilith.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think she'd be perfect for Lilith. So, yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely got one of the most recognizable voices, I would say, on the planet.
Patrick Stewart, Morgan Freeman, her, a few other ones I think that stand out where you could just, immediately who it is the moment you hear the voice. Like I know immediately. When I hear her, I was like, oh, yep, I know what that is. So she was in Assassin's Creed, the Mirage recently. It was the last game she was in.
So someone in the chat, I'm not sure how to say the name. It might be Morai Convor. Says, we just call her the actor who plays Christian in my house. It's easier. I want her to be a voice actress in every game. She's amazing. Mm-hmm. I agree.
She brings a very serious tone to all of her roles. I like how serious she is.
Oh, but she is so funny though. She can be.
That's what I've heard.
She can be, very much the Joker, the comic,
Didn't you say that about Michelle Rodriguez? I think I've heard others say that she's really funny.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
She is.
She's a sweetheart.
That funny. Because you said, who did she play in the COD games? Call of Duty games? I don't remember having a main character.
Well, she wasn't a main character. She was one of the supporting soldiers. You didn't play her character. She was she was an NPC.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember which game?
Just right off, no. I do remember one role. She was in a plane, or her character was in a plane, and there was discussion going on.
Okay. That narrows it down.
And then they jump out.
Okay. That could be one of 3 Call of Duty games. I think I'll figure that out later because I'm curious. I'm very curious. Anyway, so I just want to kind of see what you guys have been playing. Issa, I know you've been playing the Quarry on your channel. I've been watching it. Did you actually finish it or no?
I did finish it. Yes, we finished it on Friday.
Okay.
We played through the rest of it. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. And it was interesting to see. Honestly, I didn't play a lot of story-based games before I was a part of The Expanse.
Mhm.
And so now I think that I look at those story-based games differently because I know what goes into the making of them. And it's always interesting to see these other studios and how they do their games and knowing what goes behind it. It's just, I don't know, not that it's like ruined it for me, but like once you've worked at a fast food restaurant and then you go to that fast food restaurant and it's just different. Not even necessarily bad, it's just different.
Yeah.
You know how the sausage is made now.
Exactly. I know how the sausage is made. But it was a great game. I loved it. I wish I could play Until Dawn, but it's only available on PS5 is what I've heard.
That's going to change very soon from the rumors
Yes.
that we're hearing.
Yeah.
There is supposedly a remastered version coming from Sony, and the reports are saying that it's going to be launching on the PS5 and the PC at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would wait on that. If you liked The Quarry, I think you're really going to like Until Dawn, because I still think, in my opinion, that's probably their best game that they've made. So
Until Dawn is?
Yes, Until Dawn. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I think it's their best game.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm still hung up on House of Ashes. I really like that one, mostly because of how the second half of it goes. But gets a little sci-fi. I'll just say that. But
yeah,
I did really enjoy that one. But no, you're absolutely right. When you see something like with anything, like if you've done something and then you go see somebody else do it, you look at it a different way. You're like, oh,
it's a different
I know how that goes.
perspective. So
Yes.
yeah.
I used to when I did like a lot of audio editing back in the day for various different things, and before that I was just like, well, what's so complicated about this? I'm just like, it's just audio. Like, how do these guys, some people I watch, like, how do they, it doesn't seem that bad. And then I did it and I'm like, oh, I get it now. Yeah, I get it. Okay. This isn't easy at all. No, this is time consuming and tedious, and now I understand how it works and how they have to do it. So now when I go and listen to something and they have their audio just right, I'm like, yeah, I can appreciate this now. I get the time and effort it takes to do that. So Urkel said Forbidden West is announced for the 21st of March. Can't wait. Oh yeah, for PC. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a very good game.
Forbidden West?
Forbidden. Oh no. I was thinking Weird West.
Oh, okay.
Forbidden West is Horizon, the Sony game.
Yeah. No, it's like, no, you're right. It's like when you said Forbidden West, what popped into my head was Weird West.
Yeah.
I know.
I was like, wait
it's
a
the one
minute.
with the cowboy looking dude, Western looking guy on it. I've never played
sorta.
it.
Yeah.
But
Running around shooting zombies. Woohoo.
Asa, back to the Quarry, because I was watching most of that playthrough. The ending, you guys didn't see it, I don't think, but I stayed till the end, and without giving spoilers, let's just say she got the most catastrophic ending you could possibly get. Luckily, she had the extra lives, so she like did a re-roll and did it the right way. But like when she made this one specific choice, I was like, Issa, no.
bad for the one person, and so I didn't want to do the thing, and sometimes I'm too empathetic.
That's okay though.
I thought something else would happen. I
Well,
was wrong.
that just
the
leaves
Quarry-
it for
Just
playing
go
through
ahead.
again.
Yeah.
Hey, there's so many games though, David. You know how hard that is to play through it
Yeah,
again?
no. Yes, no. I totally get that.
No, I do eventually go through the games again. It takes a while, but I do.
Yeah. It's okay. I wouldn't lose your head over it or anything. It's no big deal.
The Quarry is this one. I feel like it's definitely borrowing stuff from your typical horror slasher flicks, and it's borrowing a little. It's even borrowing a little stuff from like Friday the 13th. When you first come into the camp, you see the sign, and it does look like the sign that you see in Camp Crystal Lake. And yes, I've heard people say mixed things about it, but I actually really had a good time with it for what it was. I think. Once again, I think it's a case of when you go into a game and your expectations aren't in check. I don't know what some people were expecting from it, but I knew what I was getting out of it. It was going to be a B flick horror, cheesy, typical tropes that you would see in other ones and the horror flicks, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It's the same thing. So that's why I think you'll like Until Dawn a lot, because it's very similar beat to that. The story structure is similar.
I will say the one thing I just felt like there was a lot of inconsistencies with the characters, and not even in the way that they were played, but it felt like in the beginning they presented the characters with this type of personality, and then you make all of these choices, which yes, I understand affects their personality. But I said this in the stream, but like Ryan's character at the beginning of the game, he seems like he's a very level-headed, good head on his shoulder, reasonable individual. And then later on in the game, he doesn't know how to call 911. And it's like that was the only thing for me that was really confusing, because it was like all of the guy characters specifically kind of just turned into himbos. And it's like every single
dumb in this game.
Yeah, they made all of them so dumb with the same personality. And they're lovable. They're so lovable. But
yes,
it didn't start that way. And then it kind of turned into that. And I was like, oh, this was an interesting choice.
I'm just gonna say it. All the characters I like the characters, but like they are stupid. I mean, all the male characters are dumb in that story.
Yes.
They sit back and let there's like, I don't know what to do. You go. And then when I'll just say that one scene where Max telling Laura to go down the set, like, so I'll stay here and wait. I'm just like, really? You're a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
She said she saw somebody down here and you're going to let her go through the dark. And okay. It's like, all right.
I wonder how much of it is just playing into the tropes of the genre, though.
It is.
It is. It's like the whole B rated genre for the horror. That's actually a classic. Everybody, they'll go see a movie just because of that. And it's getting to be the same for the games too. Because they're trying to bring that forward, and I think it's great.
There was a couple times in that game that I got Cabin in the Woods. If you guys have seen that movie.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. Yeah,
just playing into those tropes of, the athletic meathead and the virgin and the slut, and like all of this, all of those characters were present. So definitely got Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, like that was an early Chris Hemsworth role. Like, I feel like he was basically like Cake-Up was like the Chris Hemsworth character in that. In Cabin in the Woods. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the meathead.
Yeah. Anyway,
or the female Ghostbusters movie. He was the meathead. He was the meathead, but he was so stupid. Yeah, that's right. He was just outright dumb. It was a good movie.
So if you like these kind of games, I was thinking what other games are like this that you would enjoy. So there's Beyond Two Souls. I don't know if you've played that.
Mm-hmm.
Heard of it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, the character, very high. It's very realistic. It's another one of them hyper realistic. It was a Sony published game, I believe, right? Yeah, Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's got a big budget and all that. Huge diverse cast in it, and I think the main plot revolves, if I'm remembering correctly, it revolves around this girl where that's this invisible entity has been living with her like her entire life, and it just follows her around, and it has powers and everything, and it just protects her and all that. And I won't get into the story any more than that, but it is the same style of game. Of course, there's Detroit Become Human. You have Heavy Rain. There's
just any Quantic Dream game, basically.
Yeah, pretty much all. Well, I don't recommend their original, the Indigo Prophecy, Fahrenheit, or whatever they call
Fahrenheit
it.
Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy here in the North America. Yeah.
Yes, that. You got to start somewhere. I get it, but that was a little weird, that one. But yeah, of course, all the Telltale games. I don't know if you've played most of the Telltale games or not. So, same style of a game.
I've played through a couple of them. The Walking Dead, Batman. I've not played The Wolf Among Us.
Oh, you gotta play that. You have to.
I was actually thinking about playing that next.
Yeah,
that'd be a
That
good
might
one.
be my docket.
That'd be a good one to play next. So yeah.
Especially since the sequel is coming out. I believe that's Telltale's next game, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
Wolf Among Us, and then Batman is supposed to be after that. Then Wolf Among Us, I'd say is probably, if we were to rank these, I would probably, me personally, I would put it as my second favorite one they've done. It's nothing like the other Telltales. It's very weird in a good way. It's a very weird story, fantasy, fable storyline where you have like a more grounded, realistic version of characters from like Beauty and the Beast and all those other fantasy stories that you can think of. It's weird, but
the style of animation is very cool in those.
It is.
It is. But very grown up, geared towards more adult themes than.
Yep.
Let's see. Jason said Life is Strange is kind of like those games. Yes, they are. That's the other ones. Urkel said I saw my kid play Minecraft story mode. It was like Telltale, and it was fun to watch. Oh, that one. I've played it. That was
you sound like you didn't like that.
No. No, I don't know. I can't Minecraft is a fun game for what it is, but it's like, let's do a story and that universe wasn't for me, to say the least. So it was fine. I never played the sequel. They'd made 2 of them, but I never played the second one. And Jessica said Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorite movies. Nice. Cool. Okay. Someone messaged me and said they want me to show this. Christ, so I'm gonna go get it. Here, you happy? You happy? Silent person in the chat. You want to see the flamingo? Here.
The Mingo.
Can we get on with the show now? Thank you. Okay. Yes. This is a whole thing that Issa doesn't even haven't told.
I was kind of given a taste of it yesterday.
A taste of it yesterday?
A little
bit.
What was that? Allie, Cobra Girl, had mentioned it. And she told me to ask you about the flamingos. So I guess this is a good segue to ask about the flamingos.
That wasn't even the person who messaged me, but okay. It makes it even more interesting. So more people are talking about it. All right. So yes. Okay. All right. So there's a reason why I got this. This was just $1 I found it at Dollar Tree. But anyway, this all started back in 2016. Yes, it's Mingo. I see everybody in the chat being all happy. Back in 2016, my friend, who's actually in the chat right now, Jason, he told me something where I thought he was like, okay, all right, buddy. Well, I gotta go. Well, thank you for telling me that. Like, I didn't believe what he was saying, but he was trying to tell me that. Have you noticed in a lot of video games they always have a flamingo hidden somewhere, or like it's very obviously put in your face? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Anyway, after that day, ever since then, and it's gotten worse the past couple of years, and I know David can confirm that now. He's seen it. He's seen it pop up. You see flamingos in almost every video game you play, whether it is wallpaper, on a shirt, the actual bird, a lawn flamingo, a mural, What a stuffed animal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's always in the game somewhere.
Oh, but it's not just the game. We're seeing them everywhere now. And
It's a marketing thing. So I actually reached out to somebody and asked them about that. And they said, I'm like, am I out of my mind? He's like, no, they actually are using, this is one of the animals that they're using now heavily in marketing and advertisement is a flamingo. And of course your regulars like the owl and stuff like that. But he says, you're going to start seeing it a lot more. So get used to it. And ever since then, I'm seeing it on like wallpaper, like on a Roku TV, the back screens of the wallpapers that change in and out daily. I've seen them on there. I've gone to the store and seen them on products. I've left the store and seen them on papers. When you leave the store and they got a stack of papers in the supermarket, whatever local paper that they have there. And I've seen this thing. Why am I seeing this animal so much?
Is there like psychology behind using flamingos? I know pink is supposed to be like a calming color, but
I don't know.
I have a feeling it's to bring awareness to flamingos. I don't know if they're quite endangered or not, but I don't know. I mean, I'm grasping at straws here, because I was watching Rick and Morty last night, season 6, episode 8. Flamingo Dad, he's beating the piss out of this guy with flamingos everywhere.
So, Issa, you played Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know if you were paying attention, but CD Projekt Red went overboard in that game. They had a mission where you run over lawn flamingos. There is a massive statue in this. I think it's like not in the center of the city, but it's like somewhere off east of the map, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, where there's 4 massive flamingo metal statues just sitting facing each direction, and they're standing on guard. And then you see dumpsters full of flamingos. Then you see a lamp of a flamingo.
There's some
I could keep going on. There's more in that game, by the way, and they're just flooded in that.
Yeah, and
I don't understand it.
There's even some neon signs that have flamingos, for
and that as well.
So it's like flamingos are all over
weird.
the place.
My point is, and I'm thinking like every time I see this, like this is just a coincidence. This is just a coincidence. Then I play Spider-Man, then I play God of War, then I play Alan Wake 2, then I play Assassin's Creed Mirage, where they literally collect flamingo feathers and you see the birds flying around all over the place. I'm just like, what is going on here?
It's our flamingo overlords.
Yeah. There really is a conspiracy, a flamingo conspiracy.
And
they're making
their
their
developers about this, and they one in particular said, "I hate you now." I'm like, why? Because I see them in every game, so you're not crazy. I was like, okay, at least I know now.
They're making their presence known. They're going to take over the world here shortly.
No.
I promise you, Issa, you will not be able to unsee it now. We have indoctrinated you.
No.
How many games you play? Yeah.
Also, a quick Google search. They are not at all endangered, not even close.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, that goes that theory.
That's
because I would have thought, is that they could have picked elephants or
lions
or something.
Oh,
penguins. A more deserving species.
Yeah.
Speaking of Allie, Cobra Girl, while she was on the show a few weeks ago, and I told her about that, and her boyfriend was in the chat. I don't remember the game he was playing, but when he was listening to the show, he was in whatever game he was in the bathroom part of the map or single player game I think he might have been playing, but he went into a bathroom. He opened up the stall. She sent it to me during the show, and I forgot to mention it during the show, but she did send it to me. She goes into the stall, and in the toilet, there is a flamingo with a skull. And as he's listening to us talk about this, like he sees it happen right in front of his eyes, and then he's just like, wait a minute. Like,
what?
This is weird. They sent the picture to me, and then she sent me another picture. They played Dead or Alive 4 or 5 together, and all of a sudden, like flamingos just land in the back and start walking around and fly over.
Crazy. That's weird.
It's the most. There's over 20,000 species of birds, but we're going to focus on this one thing.
I think they're just like the most popular bird at the moment. That's probably it, right? Because I mean, they are pretty. Like there's no other birds that look quite like them.
Don't get me wrong. I love this bird. Like it's a beautiful looking bird. And
flamingos are okay, but it's not my favorite.
That's not my favorite, but it's...
you will be the first one executed by the flamingo overlords.
I heard
that.
I'll be first in
this
line.
actually lights up, but I don't want to. Someone in our chat gets seizures, and I don't want to accidentally maybe possibly trigger an episode for them. But this thing does light up really bright. It's like an evil red color comes out of it.
It's by the way, it's Peanut Nutter, which I recognize her from Issa's stream. She says, "No way, there's a flamingo in God of War."
Yes.
Yes.
Is there?
Yes, there is. So I don't know about it was either Ragnarok or the 2018 game. I can't remember which one. But there was, when I was walking around as Kratos and Atreus, I saw like a bunch of birds from the distance. I'm like, I see pink, and I'm like, nah. I'm like, we're in like a fantasy kind of setting. This isn't. And then as I got closer and they kind of flew over my head, they just slightly changed the design of the flamingo, but it's supposed to be a flamingo. They just slightly changed it to make it fit that world.
Like an alien
It's like-
flamingo.
Yeah.
It's there though.
Don't worry, you have not seen the last of the flamingos on Boundless Gamers. Trust me, we got a lot more stuff coming.
I was playing Alien Dark Descent the other day.
Don't tell me there's a flamingo in that.
There's a flamingo in one. It's a sticker up on the wall in one of the buildings. It was a command center, and it was up on the wall. Yeah. So yeah.
I don't want it in my Aliens universe. Leave my Ridley Scott, James Cameron stuff alone. There's no reason for it to be there.
I'm positive that there's probably a flamingo in Dead by Daylight.
Oh,
there has
yeah.
to be.
Undoubtedly.
You could, you'll probably go into the environment. There could be something just on a box or whatever. But
Yeah. No, I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna go play it after this and go look for a flamingo.
Yeah, let us know. And in fact, that's everybody's homework in chat. Like, go play in any game you're playing right now. Go and hunt for the flamingo. I guarantee you'll find it.
Oh, thank you.
Take a picture. Take a picture, by the way, because we're doing that thing on our private Facebook group where we want people to find the flamingos, take a screenshot, and post it.
Yeah, it's like Far Cry 6.
Yeah.
Lots of flamingos all over the place. Assassin's Creed Ragnarok.
Mirage too. Mirage.
No,
Yeah.
the game right
Both.
before.
Both of them.
Yeah. It's
When
like you wouldn't think to see flamingos in England, but
No.
they're there.
There's so much, they probably migrated there. No, don't give me that. Don't
They
give me
flew
that.
there in their spaceship.
The last thing I will say about this is the thing that, besides Cyberpunk 2077, the game that really confirmed it for me was Hitman 2, where there's an entire indie racetrack dedicated to it's a flamingo themed track. And then they have a mascot that walks around in a flamingo outfit, and Agent 47 can knock out the guy and take the outfit and put it on and do like this flamingo dance. And then you can kind of like walk over underground into this underpass area where people go get to their seats and stuff. There's like this long mural wall of flamingos. And even then it's in the name, even in the logo of the indie racetrack has a weird flamingo head. That sealed the deal for me when I saw that. So
yeah, somebody told me that it's either GTA 5 that you can. This guy was running around beating this other guy with a lawn flamingo. So yeah, it's remarkable.
Oh, Mike, are there any in Starfield? Because Mariah
Yes.
Convor in chat says, "Is there
Yes.
some in
Yes.
Starfield?"
I'm sure there is. That's a huge game.
Yes.
I mean, we need
I
to deploy people to find it.
I have one on my ship.
Oh,
you
there
did?
is in
Starfield?
Starfield?
Yeah. I picked one up.
Now Microsoft's doing it, and Bethesda's doing it. Oh, jeez. Well, actually, Bethesda's been doing it. What am I saying? been doing it in Fallout.
Redfall.
I was just
too.
playing Fallout 76 and I saw a flamingo. So anyway,
Yeah.
I've had enough of that. Yeah, there's a conspiracy, and I make a joke. We kid about it, but at the same time, there is some truth to it. At least when it comes to advertising animals on products or whatever, there is something, and I do think some developers have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
I'm convinced. CD Projekt Red and the guys over at Hitman, what's their names? IO Interactive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, they know.
I'll just have to do a dream sequence of flamingos in my game.
I'm gonna ask you this, David. Can I have one request in your video game? And that would be the only the finger I touch in it. Can you make an achievement where it says you go somewhere, you find a flamingo, it could be a picture or whatever, but when you walk up to it, I want an achievement to pop up that says it's a conspiracy. When you find it. And then in the description, I don't know, you have fun with it. You can put whatever you want in the description for the achievement, but I want it to pop up. You could put an actual bird if you want, but that's more involving. That's 3D model and that's a whole thing. But if you want to put that's my only request in your game. I want one achievement that's just for that, just to spread awareness.
Yes.
Okay.
I could do
that. Would be amazing.
I could do that.
Put that in the notes. All right. Oh God, that sidetracked me. I can't handle it. And I saw another message somebody sent me. I don't want to start the oatmeal thing right now.
Oh man.
I don't want to start the oatmeal thing. I know Isis actually had that combination. I think you said you put jelly in your oatmeal or peanut butter.
Oh really?
Mhm.
You liked it?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't using really a great quality jelly, but it was good with the jelly that I did have. Would have again.
You guys are gonna make me try this, aren't you?
So our friend Indy, like, he thought I was nuts when I said that, but he actually did my exact recipe. He didn't even do like a different variation of it or anything. Like, I told him to put the peanut butter in it. I told him to put the strawberry jam. I told him to make the oatmeal a very specific way, like not too wet. I want you to have it on a little bit more on the dry side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, get the boiled egg, cut it all up in it, put a little sprinkle of salt in it, and then just try it. And
I think I missed that part.
Okay, you missed the boiled egg part?
I just did the peanut butter and jelly.
I don't do the egg thing anymore just for cholesterol reasons, but I do like a boiled egg in it. Yes, I know it's weird. I know it is weird. But when people try it, the few people I've told to do it, they're like, this just tastes like a really good dessert. It's like, this doesn't even taste like I'm eating breakfast anymore. So
it doesn't sound very good.
The egg is optional, right?
The egg threw me off.
Yeah.
I know, it's just for extra protein in my body.
I was
That's the only
fully
reason.
on board. Like I was here to advocate for it, and then you said the egg, and
It's optional. You don't have to. I'm just saying. It is. I'm telling you, Jock, if you try it just once, I don't care when you do it. You can even do it on the show if you want. If you want to do it in the time, you did it on the show.
So, if I do it, it's going to be off stream. Just in case I'm like,
no, it tastes like a dessert.
Okay.
It does. Even if you just put peanut butter and jelly in it, it tastes like a dessert. It really does. It doesn't. Breakfast is out the window at that point. It doesn't taste like that anymore. So, George said Mike is trying to give everyone bubble guts.
Yeah, for real.
This is coming from somebody who has one of the worst stomachs. No, and it doesn't bother me. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Oh, by the way, Mike, still on the flamingo. Morai, also, am I saying your name right? By the way, Morai. By the way, he or she says there's totally a flamingo in Control. I know this because I have a screenshot of it, and I need to post it in our group. I will get on that, but yes, I have found the flamingo.
This gets even weirder because in that game that there's a bunch of it's very paranormal. The game, like, there's a lot of weird shit going on in it, and there's it's in a government facility, and one of the rooms they hide objects that have like something's off about it, and they need to lock it up. They need to keep it away from everybody because it's dangerous. One of the objects is a flamingo, and it even has it on the text on the screen. It says, examine the flamingo or something like that or whatever, and you walk up to it, and I'm just like, oh God. Yeah. Can we please get off this now?
Yeah.
Guys, stop bringing
Okay.
up this in the chat.
So I
I
said,
got enough.
having gone through your whole experience with the Expanse, what do you walk away with? What you feel is something that you're looking forward to, like in your future gaming experience? So I'm just trying to put it all to words. My gummy is finally kicking in. So
Oh no.
No, you're okay.
I'm going a
You're
little touch
fine,
to the
man.
head.
You're asking what do you take away
Understand.
from that experience doing it, like going
Yeah.
forward? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
So what-
a lot of people are, they do ask, it's like, how hard is it to get into the gaming acting business? And that asking also how actors are turning to gaming acting as a secondary resource for their income, especially like when they were on strike.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, I don't even understand what David's trying to ask.
Yeah,
To be honest with you, I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah. No, it's like from your experience, what is your take for somebody who's trying to get into the business, or what is your impression? Is it a good thing to chase after for somebody who's interested in doing it, or?
Absolutely. I mean, I firmly believe that absolutely anybody could be an actor if you give it enough time, if you get enough efforts, if you put the work into it. Like, you can do it. And if it's something that you're passionate about and that you really truly want to give it a go, absolutely give it a go.
Okay.
I think that I think it's one thing to say, oh, I want to be a voice actor, but it's another thing to actually put the work in to do it. It's a very attainable goal. But I've had a lot of people ask me, like, how do I get into voice acting? How do I get into voice acting? And, I tell them, give them advice on how to do it. But I think I've seen very few people actually follow that advice and actually do it.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. But if it's something that you want to do, I mean, much with anything, if you want to be a sculptor, if you want to be a painter, if you want to be, a scientist, anybody can do it. Sure, you have base talent and base skill, but if you really want to do something, you can do it.
It's
And I
have
hope
the
that
drive to
answers.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope that answers your question.
Yeah,
Accurately.
for the most part, it's like I'll sell for that.
Okay.
I still don't understand what half the question was about. I mean, to be honest with you, even after
I
she answered
answered the part that I thought that you were asking. I'm sorry.
I think
Yeah.
if I understand, it was kind of like, well, what is your takeaway? Because this is your first experience with video game acting, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you compare that to your live action thing? What was your takeaways from video game acting?
Got it. Okay. In that way, it's a lot different. I liken motion capture to a combination of both theatrical acting and live action acting, because they're capturing everything. They're capturing everything from up here, and they're capturing everything here, like your whole body. And not that you have to be over dramatic with your movements the way that you would with theater, but because of the way that it's animated, you can't necessarily have these minute, intricate details like fidgeting with this thing, because it's difficult to animate. Not that it's not possible, but you just have to be more broad and exact with your body movements, but still keep the intricacies in your acting with your facial movements. And it's kind of a combination of both of those elements, where I feel like, with theater or with live action, it's one or the other.
Yeah. I remember Troy Baker telling a story about how, I think this was when he was shooting The Last of Us, or it might have been part 2, I'm not sure, but they have the scene all choreographed, planned out. He does it as it's planned, but he adds a little thing where he puts his thumb into his loophole on his jeans, and that wasn't planned. And then after the scene was done, like, they went over and tell him, like, what are you doing? Because they're like, oh no, just that little movement is gonna like cause the animators like so many problems. So yeah, just little things like that. They're like a big difference, I would think, from like live action, where it's like, who cares if you just improv like a little thing like that, no big deal.
Yeah. Well, and there was something similar with Life is Strange. I don't remember who was telling me the story, but one of the actors was fidgeting with a pen like this, and it was, I can't quite do the movement, but they were like just doing like this type thing, and it wasn't caught when they were capturing that day, and I think animation had a field day once they realized that was something that they had to animate, and they did. Yep. The head animator animated it, and it made it into the game, but yeah, it's just things like that you don't really think about, especially with choreographing movements or choreographing fight scenes or intimate scenes. Like, you have to be very, very precise, but still make it look natural, but not cover up any dots.
Because
there's a lot of elements
that can get really difficult, because a lot of the times you're having to redo that scene over and over. It's like multiple times trying to capture. It's like they'll come in from one side angle, and they'll capture that. Then they'll change the camera position to a different one, and then have you go through the whole motion, and they're capturing that, and then they got to go to a different position. And then, so it's a lot, and it gets really hard to keep it natural looking, because it becomes very robotic almost. But and I think that fidgeting, the motion's too fast for the camera.
Yeah. And I think another thing to consider too is when you're in this motion capture studio, when you're acting, whether you're in a theater, a black box, or for a commercial, for television, you have the scene around you. Even with theater, it's minimal, but you still have props. You have a backdrop. You have costumes. Right. You have makeup. You have all of this. And then with live action, of course, you have even more props, and you're actually in the room, and you're actually wearing these clothes. And with motion capture, you have none of that. Yeah. You don't have any of that. And in fact, it's quite uncomfortable, and it was very difficult for me when I first started rehearsing and doing the scenes, because I'm trying to imagine myself in space on top of a spaceship looking at a moon when I'm wearing this skin tight, itchy suit, and I have no dexterity. I'm wearing this awkward helmet. There's a camera right here. I can't touch my face because I have dots everywhere, and my nose itches. And it's very difficult to fall into character sometimes when you're dealing with all of those elements. And that was probably the hardest part when I first started getting over that, because with any other type of acting, you don't have that.
Yeah, it's like you really have to use your imagination to put your brain in that space.
Well, kind of, I look at it as kind of, if you have played in VR and you've had the big helmet, on, you can't really see what's going on around you, except for what's in your visual screens inside the helmet. So you're not seeing on the outside, but you're having to picture and imagine that it's there, without being able to really see it. That's how I try to relay it or go about it. So you can't touch your face, you can't scratch your back. You can't bend over,
Yeah.
unless it's part of what's going on. So it's very cumbersome.
Yes. Yeah.
Good segue, I
And-
guess, into the main topic at this point. So yeah, we're talking about motion capturing at this point. Yeah. So go ahead, Sarchak. What you were gonna say? I don't
No,
wanna
no,
cut you
I was gonna say like, and because I've seen a lot of behind the scenes like footage of mocap and stuff like that, so I know a little bit. So like I was watching some of the Resident Evil, like some of the newer ones, and like so like you were saying, David, like you can't touch your face, nothing can come between the camera and your face because they have to pick up all the dots for the animators. So like say if you want to smoke like a cigarette or something, you have to do it like on the other side of the camera, right? Like not in front of your face like you normally would. So you're basically like way out here, like pretending to smoke a cigarette. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's true if they allow you to smoke. We had a few instances where they were capturing the facial emotion features and motions of this particular actor's face, and he wanted to go out for a smoke, and every time that we would allow him to go, we had to take all of the dots off to let him go outside. That's interesting, but that's not what I'm referring to. I mean, like if you're doing any kind of hand motions, like say the character is smoking a cigarette. No, that is true. It's like you cannot have anything come between you and the camera because the camera is there specifically, targeting your face. But if you've got a scene where you're smoking, then they'll back that out to where they're capturing the whole motion and it's expected.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask Issa, I think I've asked you this actually in your stream before, but I just just to confirm again. I've heard some say they hate the feel of a motion capture suit. How did that feel for you? Because some said they hated some said how tight it was. Others said it's very comfortable.
Mine was uncomfortable. Mine was very tight and uncomfortable. I didn't like it. It was just very tight on my arms specifically. And more than anything, it was hot. It was very, very hot. And I think that they tried to keep the room fairly cool. But I mean, you're still in this tight suit. There was a lot of bodies in there whenever we're capturing stuff. And then you have the technology obviously is producing heat. So I just remember it being very hot. The top was at least. The bottoms weren't too bad, but the top, I hated it.
Yeah, think compression suit.
Yes.
It's like the whole spandex, but super tight. We always had our little studio. We would crank the temperature down to like 30. It was always freezing. You got nothing on underneath your compression suit or anything, and it's like standing there. Oh.
How long? I'll ask you first, David, because you would probably know this since you've done it with the actors many times. You guys over at Activision. How long is the entire filming process or recording process of capturing all of the footage of people in motion capture suits? How long does that usually take, development time wise?
Well, it depends on how many characters are we recording and how much activity, but it can take like 6 months. I know we've taken 6 months to do all of the recordings, the capture, and then it's months more in going from the capture to the framework, to the wireframe, and then to the animation. So,
okay. So I'll throw this to Issa. How because you're basically, I'll just say this, like you could be in the whole game, your character, beginning to end for the most part. How long did it take you guys to, for you at least in particular, how long did it take you, the recording of all of your animation? What was the time for that? What was the process? Like a couple weeks, a month, 2 months?
I mean, from start to finish,
Yeah.
about a year and a half. But it's not like every single day, I'm going to the studio and we're doing stuff. The way that they did it was episodically, and they had to do it this way because obviously Kara G was coming from out of state. So they had to schedule everything to where we were doing episode 1 all in 1 to 2 weeks so that she could be there for those weeks and then go back home. Whereas in the past, like for Life is Strange, I think that they would just, okay, let's do it. These 2 days here, these 2 days there, this day here. Oh, we're going to do pickups this day, sporadically over the course of however long. But they kind of had to change their schedule. So overall, a year and a half ish. But really,
it wasn't solid.
No,
So
no, it was a couple weeks.
It's like
every 2 months.
Yeah, so that's where we were different because we would block that whole time period and we would do every day. Because we were always trying with an annual release schedule. We had it was very tight, so we couldn't go. Oh well, it's like this actor is only available on such and such days. This one's on this day, so we're gonna do a couple days here, a couple days there, a couple days there. We had. It's like if we hired you as an actor, you're coming in for that 6 months, if that's how long we were needing. And we did it all right there, one big block.
I mean, it makes sense because every year you had to put out a Call of Duty game. So, and I know you had like three developers, I think, working on Call of Duty games, at least the main, like you would switch over to. Well, I mean, there's more, but I mean the main ones that did like there was like the main 3, like there was Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer. Was that the other? Sledgehammer was the other one. And then there was other developers helping, like Raven and others with other things within those games. But those were they were alternating between those 3. So that's how you were able to do the yearly release. So the first one would be working on their game that would be coming out in like 2 to 3 years. So, and then you just keep bouncing back and forth between each one. I was curious about that. So in your case, David, you guys had to have, oh no, you got to stay here for this many months because we need to get this done. So they would have to be like, all right, you're committed to 3-4 months or something like that. You got to be in the area for this. Okay.
Well, we would put them up in a hotel.
Well, obviously. Yeah.
So,
no, you gotta, that's on your own. You'll figure it out.
But, and depending on how much, capture and voice recording that we would need to do, we even would book out. It's like Treyarch in California. We've had to go up to Seattle on a couple of times, and we booked out a studio there, and we did a lot of the work there for, I think it was like 30 days. We booked it for a full month. And then we also went over to London and we booked a studio for some of the actors who are our UK partners and did some of the recording there. So, we would move around.
Okay. I see a question for P-Butt. I got a question. How did you adjust to wearing a face cam? Was it easy to ignore it like a regular camera, or did it take some practice?
It took a little bit of practice. Not that it's like you actively practice trying to ignore it. It's just one of those things that you have to get over the fact that
it's there.
It's there. Yeah. You just have to ignore it. It's kind of like your nose, how if you start thinking about it, you can start seeing it in your peripherals. But if you're not really thinking about it, you just don't even realize that your nose is there. And it was that way with the camera. I mean, once you get it on and you're all adjusted and you're ready to go, you're looking at your scene partner. You're looking past that camera and you're looking at your props. You're looking at where you're walking. you're not even paying attention to the fact that there is a camera there.
Yeah.
I think
like,
initially you just got to get past the mental roadblock of, I mean, it's not a flattering angle, and you realize how unsymmetrical your face is, and then once you get past that, it's fine.
yeah, it's like with a little time, you get used to it being there, and you just start ignoring it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Is it ever like too tight around your head? Do you ever get like circulation cut off from wearing it all day?
Not really, because the helmets are adjustable. They're kind of like construction helmets where they have that little thing you can click to adjust it. I don't know if that's. I would assume that is industry standard. David, I don't know if you could speak on that.
No. You know, we've used several different setups, so I don't know if there's a standard.
Sure.
It just depends on what equipment and what technology is available at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. I've seen a lot of different. I was the other night. I was just curious. I was looking at a lot of different pictures of different motion capture suits, and a lot of them are very different, actually. Especially the headgear looks very different. Some look, I would even say, very extreme. Some of the things. It was like one was like I should have a picture of it, but the thing went all the way down to the neck, and they had one camera coming this way and one camera coming that way, and then they had something that arched over. I was like, "What is this?" It looked like something. It looked like a helmet, like an old a helmet somebody would wear in like the Doom series, Jacques. You know, like one of those. One of those like the demon characters with like the big horn. It looked. I was like, what is that? Like, what is the reason for it looking like that? Like, I'm sure there's a good reason, but I don't know. And then other ones are just like they're really simple looking. So it's
you got to remember, is like my era before I left the industry. The whole capture thing was kind of new. It's like the rigs were very simplistic. You know, it's like they were just coming out with the camera that would come out and be over your shoulder, and then you had one that was on your helmet, and it would be facing back towards you, and that was it. You know, so it's come a long way.
Do you remember, Jacques, in LA Noire? I don't know if you ever saw the making of that game, but they were doing something very different. They didn't use motion capture, at least for the actor. Well, they did motion capture, I think, for maybe just anybody was in the suits. But for the facial animation, they stuck them in a room that was extremely bright with like 80 to 90 cameras circled around their face. And they had to like stand. So I don't think they had any dots on their face or anything. They were using some kind of a new technology to capture the animation of the face, which looked really good in LA Noire at the time. But I just remember they're like sitting in the middle of this room with like a couple hundred cameras or something all centered around them. It looked very expensive.
Yeah, but it's a infrared. Gosh, now I can't say the word. I can see it, but I can't say it. But it's based on infrared laser technology. It's the same kind of similar technology that you can find on very modern phones and webcams. It puts out a signal that whatever comes, it's like the light comes back, and at times how much time does it need to come back, and it's very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's just so crazy, like how far we've come with technology and video games.
Right. It's let me go to the chat. I see. People said that was a good way to put it. It's like your nose. Let's see. Convor said, apologies if it's been answered as. Let me read that again. Apologies if it's been answered, as I'm supposed to be working. But is the headgear heavy to wear for long periods?
It can be.
Yeah,
it can be.
I mean, anything on your head for long periods is going to get heavy. Like even this headset that I'm wearing right now, just let's use that as an example. Very light. I wear this for the 5 hours straight. It's going to start to feel heavy because my head wants it off. It's like, get it off my ear already.
It's like how many cameras are on your head, or your shoulders. It's like I had one guy, well, not guy, girl. She told me that her rig felt like she was lugging around a 40-pound backpack after a whole day.
Oof. Wow. Some do look that heavy. So, I mean, I get it. So see, that's interesting because I assumed the guys over at Telltale they were giving everybody was like separated and they recorded differently, but because like I know some places they that's what they do. They don't always have all of the actors in the room doing the scene together. They kind of like silo them off different time because everybody has different schedules and all that. So I forgot what my question was. Maybe I'll remember. Thank you, Convor, for actually breaking the moment there. More in this. Okay, Convor said more in the sense that the cameras seem to be very much weighted in front of you, so it looks like it would topple you forward.
Not really. I mean, there's like a lot of them are like GoPros, just little itty bitty little cameras that's out on this arm. The arm probably weighs more than the camera.
Oh, Peapod has a good question. Another question. More games are hiring models to be the face of their characters or having the characters resemble their actors and aren't like creating the character from scratch. For example, the first Last of Us game versus newer games like Mortal Kombat 1 and Spider-Man PS4 and PS5. What do you guys think of that? Okay, so more games are hiring models to be the face of their characters or having the characters resemble their actors. I've never really thought
hiring real models. Like like I was saying, I know I'm a huge fan of the Resident Evil series.
Yes.
They do that too. Like they'll hire like actual models. I would imagine it's probably like easier for the animator or the animators to like base it off like a real person. So you have like a base instead of just creating something from scratch. And then they slightly manipulate the face so it doesn't look exactly like the model, but it's similar. Like, so I would think it's probably like for ease of just for the animators, right?
I don't know. I mean, if you're going to go to the expense of hiring an actor, actress, model, and you're going to use their likeness for the character, you're paying the premium for that privilege, or you're paying for the licensing for that likeness. Why would you alternate it? You want to go try to bring their image as realistically as possible into the game.
So they did that with in Last of Us Part 2 with what's her name? Is her name Nadine? Jacques? Is that her name? Dina. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dina. So Laura Bailey did her voice, but they hired somebody who's not an actor, wasn't an actor, I don't think, but like they were looking for someone very like specific, and this person applied and they got it, and she did do all of the scenes with the actors and stuff. But some scenes and some with Laura Bailey, they went back and forth, but that they did model the character off of her, not Laura Bailey's character. So not what Laura Bailey looks like. Okay. I mean,
that's different because you get into it's like where the actor's actually providing the voice and the model's doing the framework. So that's actually common. That's very common.
Yeah. They did that with in Alan Wake. I mean, you can keep going with two different people doing that character.
It's also because they probably just want just like casting in real life, you want a very specific look for the character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, but it's like when you are hiring an actor for their voice, it doesn't matter what their body type is or anything. You can, so. It's like when you're doing caption or capture, you can actually go with a model who's more local rather than having to fly your actor in to do all of the capture. you can have them stay in their location for their audio recordings and all that. So it just really depends.
It's different with it's a case by case thing. Like every game they kind of do it differently. Like just with the Expanse game, like with Issa's character, the face and everything, that's to my knowledge they made that's the character they made from scratch, and that's who they wanted Maya to look like. Could they have gotten Issa's like actual facial likeness like Kara G and some of the other characters? Yeah, of course they could have done, but that's in the writer's mind. That's what the character looked like to them. So that's what they used in that situation. And other times they don't do that. Sometimes they like I said, they'll just have the actor and their likeness and everything, and they're in the game, like the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And then I mean it's not always, you can't really compare one to the other because everybody's kind of doing it slightly different. So
yeah, well, it's not really a standard, you know. It just depends on what the needs are at the time.
Right. Convor says Aloy's face uses a Dutch actress / model, but pretty sure Forbidden West used Ashley Birch's face capture and they combined the two. That sounds right. I think you might be right. Yeah. That sounds right. Yeah. So this goes back to what I was just saying. There's so many different ways of doing it. So that's why I'm always curious, like, how did they do it or how did they do it? And then they have to rent out a place. Some people have a massive place just specifically for this. Sony does that. They literally have buildings just for that. Motion Cap, like a whole building that they own. That's why it varies. It comes down to the budget too, and what do they have to work with? What kind of tech they have?
Yeah,
we don't have one answer that covers everything. Is basically what I'm trying to say. There's lots of different answers here that we can give you.
Yeah, because it's
that's like how everybody's doing it.
At Activision, we had our own little studio, but we also rented out studios around the country and the world as needed. I know Microsoft, the game studio in Bellevue has their own studio, and they rent it out to other studios rather than when they're not actively using it. Right. So yeah.
Anyway, did you have well, Urkel said something. Now I need to replay Horizon Zero Dawn just for that. Sure.
It's a good game. Yeah, you should.
It's long. For me, it's one of those one and done games. It's not to say that you can't play it again. It's just long games. Got to move on to something else. But I really enjoyed it.
Mike, I have a question for Issa, because I'm like very curious, like how you got your start in acting. Like, were you acting at a very young age?
I started acting when I was in middle school.
Okay.
And it was just theater. It was just my school's theater.
Theater kid.
Kind of. Yeah, theater kid. It's usually how it starts, and continued that passion throughout all of middle school and high school. And it was something that I knew that I wanted to do, because when you're a junior, senior in high school, people start asking you like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Where do you want to go to college? All that stuff. I knew that I wanted to be an actor, but I didn't have support. Not that my parents were like, you can't be an actor, but they valued education and they wanted me to get my education to go on and go to college, which I do appreciate that I do appreciate them for that. And so I went to college and I got my degree in veterinary medicine, but the whole time I was like, why I don't want to be doing this. This isn't what I want to do. And so I graduated. I did what I needed to do. And then once I graduated and left my parents' house, I was like, all right, cool. I checked that off of my box. I'm going to go do what I said that I wanted to do before. And I got the agent. Started submitting myself for things, and rest is history.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're following your dream, though.
Yeah, that's always very important.
It's one of those things, like when you know. And I knew, so I did it.
Yeah, I I would like to say I was a theater kid when, back in the day, because we did a lot of dinner theater and
Yeah.
music
Okay.
and musicals, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I can't say that I was very good at it. I honestly, I
That's another thing.
I sucked. And honestly, I thought I wanted to go on to be into theater and into acting but the reality of it wasn't for me. It's like the whole gaming thing that I fell into that. Being a game designer was not at my top of my list.
But that opened doors for you though, because you were part of making. Well, you're not the actor in it, but you're a part of making those campaigns that you did in Call of Duty, and
Yeah.
you're on the set even when the actors are doing all of that stuff. So you, in a way, I mean, you did kind of. You still kind of associated yourself with some of that stuff. So
yeah, it's like when the actors were in the studio, it wasn't because I wasn't there because I needed to be. It was I wanted to go meet who we brought in. Because
Right.
it's like when we were I was doing the level design. It was okay. We're planning. It's like this is how the story's going to go, and this is what we need to do, and this is what we're needing for the environment and the mechanics. There wasn't a lot for me to get involved with the actors or the supporting thing, and then when I got over to the engine, that was even less so. We would just go over to the studio because we were all gobsmacked and.
Oh, you wanted to watch. You're just like, can I go?
It's like
Can I
we
go?
want to
Barry
meet,
Oldman's here. Oh, can we go?
we want to meet the actors, the famous people who's coming in. So yeah, no.
Okay. That's
So,
yeah. Go ahead.
so Issa, do you think you'll ever go back to theater acting?
It's not my favorite. It's. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. People who do theater, I admire because it is different. It's a different ball game. It's just not my preference. I would do it. I've considered going back to it just for fun, just for just a way to meet more actors and to network with people and to
Networking. Yep.
have a creative outlet. It's just not my preference.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I've had some actors who have told me that in between their projects on shows or TV, or movies, that they would do theater because it helps keep their art fresh. It keeps their skills kind of going and to help expand all of that. It wasn't necessarily what they wanted to do, but it was something that they felt that they needed to do in order to keep relevant, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of actors, even our performance director, Zachary Andrews. I mean, he's a theater actor. Erica Mori, she's in theater. Lily, who plays Khan. Omid, all of them are big theater buffs. And I think I wish I liked it more. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
do
was
you,
kind of with you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what do you want to focus on? It's like
I was gonna ask
the
that. There you
game
go.
acting or TV, movie.
I did not know that video games were even an option until I got the audition for this game. Obviously, I knew that it was a thing, but I mean, in my mind, it just seemed like, I mean, how do you even get started with that? I've fallen in love with it. I really have. I love video games. I've always been a gamer. I mean, since high school, I've been gaming, and it's been awesome just to combine the best of both worlds, which is video games and acting, and the gaming community has just been really awesome and supportive during all of this, and the Twitch community has just been really awesome and supportive during all of this. And I think I still want to pursue film, television, acting, and just have as many fishing lines out there as possible, metaphorically, of course. But I love video game acting. I love it. If I could do this forever, I would. I would absolutely do it. And if I never got booked for anything else, I'd totally be fine with that. But, you know.
I don't think that's going to be the case just because you have... the hardest thing is getting that role. And when you get the role, now it's on your resume. And like you got another thing with Telltale, at least old Telltale, I can't say what the new guys, what they're doing, but they did have a reputation of the older games. They use the same actors a lot.
They'll bring the actors back a lot. Yeah.
Yes, they do that. I'm sure they'll probably do that again because it's just easier that way. You don't have to go, we got to go find a whole bunch more. And then we got to find a bunch more. Just keep if you can change, if the voice is different enough, it's like, yeah, okay, we've already worked with this person. And I do think now that you're on that list, I do think there would be other opportunities for you if you decide to extend out more of that. But that doesn't mean you have to stop one thing over the other. You can do both.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Well, and I mean, not to say that actors, and beggars can't be choosers, but not to say that you have to be, desperate for roles and just take anything. But a lot of times with acting, you do take what you can get because that's the nature of the beast.
True. Well, it's like you'll get popular and famous enough to where you'll be able to start picking your own roles.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
That's the goal.
There's so many video games in development. I know there's a need for even more actors. And I know they like to recycle the same ones over and over, but there is a lot of
new talent
spots. Yeah, and talent. There's a lot of talent. And just I want to see more games. That's so I play a lot of games. You would be both. So keep going at it.
Yeah, just be sure to get your agent to, tell him or her that it's like, look, I had a lot of fun with this. We need to focus on that a little bit more.
Yeah, they're there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because they're always looking for talent.
I think it's go ahead. No, finish.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I think it's just a matter of, Deck 9 is in Colorado, and I think I got lucky with that because there's not a lot of video game companies in Colorado. So I think it's just a matter of, finding out where to go next or, what market to branch into next, and kind of going from there.
Well, it's like I had told Mike this before or early, last month or the month before. It's like, don't move. Do not relocate based on your desire or your thought of, okay, well, if I move to Santa Monica, then I'm going to get jobs at Sony in Santa Monica or even at Activision. It just doesn't really work out quite that way. It's like if we are really impressed and want you, we'll bring you out, to do whatever we want you to do. So it's just finding those outlets. It's like you having a good agent who's got a good ear to the market, to the industry. Because there are some agencies out there that they focus in on game acting. But I think you've got a good future ahead of yourself. Makes me kind of jealous.
Ultimately,
thank you.
It's what was I gonna say? There it goes. It's gone. The thought. That's what I was gonna say. Okay. Ultimately, it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. I didn't take one, but I felt like I took one. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. I think me and David even talked about that when we're talking about other things. It ultimately doesn't matter where you are in the country.
No.
Because if they want to fly, if they want you over here, they will fly you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's mostly. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, it's like, and we did that a lot. You know, we brought in a lot of actors from the East Coast.
Yeah, and you were all the way in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
So that's that's why I think it is good. I mean, David, you also were saying this, to have an in-house recording area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, because that does open, that can open a lot of doors in allowing you to be able to live wherever you want. You know, because a lot of actors, even now, they'll have some in-house, you know, in their own,
Oh, yeah.
own home, a studio to where they can do some voiceover work.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like, if you can offer that as an incentive, you'd be more likely chosen than having to have somebody go and rent a studio to have your actor come in to do the recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for
Hey,
anyone who, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Mike. You go.
I said, for anyone who may listen to this later, or just whoever, somebody ever mentions this to you, and who might be wanting to get into acting or wants to do more in video games, I just can even apply to you, Issa. Some think they don't have what it takes to be in the gaming industry, to be an actor, a full-fledged actor in the gaming industry. And I was just talking about this with Jacques the other night. A good example of, and he's a good actor in Stargate. I know David probably knows what I'm talking about. Good actor in Stargate. And so, well, I have an autograph of him right here. It's Christopher Judge.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be in Stargate SG-1. After Stargate SG-1, he was on that show for 10 years and appeared in some other spin-off versions of Stargate. After that, he was kind of like,
Well,
all right, I guess this is it. Like, he felt like he was done. But then he got into the gaming industry.
mm-hmm.
He landed Kratos, the role of God of War Kratos. Now you see him in award shows and on stage, and he even said this in an interview. Like, he considered himself just a. I'm like, I felt like a certain tier of an actor. Like, I never thought I would get to this level. Like, but it just takes that one role in the gaming industry. My point I'm trying to make is, you don't have to be Matthew McConaughey in the gaming industry. You don't have to be Keanu Reeves. My point is that, like, wherever you come from in the gaming industry, you can make a big splash.
Oh, absolutely.
Instantly. Just look, Christopher Judge he never thought he'd be going to award shows and be doing speeches and winning awards. So, like, it's a completely different playing field than live action acting. But
it's kind of like me. You know, I didn't start off with the goal of getting into the gaming industry. I was studying to be my master is in climatology. I got into gaming because in college, Activision was doing play testing, and it was a way to earn a little extra money, you know, for food, you know, starving students and all of that. It was just, to me, that's what really got me going. Is it was interesting, it was fun, and it just kept going.
Yeah, but that can go even with films and TV show. Like, it just takes that one role.
Yeah,
that's all it takes. It's just that one role. Once you get that one role, that you can look at any actor. They took it. Just Jeremy Allen White, Jacques, right? When before he got on Shameless, he was doing just, you know, little thing here, little thing there, commercials, kind of similar to what you're doing right now, Issa. And he got a role in Shameless,
and there we go.
That took off. 10 years of that, and now he's on a show. The Bear, was it the Bear show he's on now?
Yeah, the Bear. He won some awards.
Yeah. So
it just takes one. It really does.
All it takes. My point is, don't give up on it, and
you know,
something will happen.
Persistence and patience.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, I think you are naturally talented. Like I noticed that. I'm not just sucking up to you.
No.
Although that's not below me, I will suck up.
I already
But
told her she's not number one in that game. So I mean, I put it out there. It's Kara G. So sorry.
Well, but yeah, Kara G is awesome. But yeah, but I think like I noticed right away. I'm like, oh, she's very natural. Like she's good at this. So
Yeah.
I think you'll for sure work in the gaming industry again. You'll get another role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. No.
I appreciate the confidence.
Even though I haven't played the game yet, honestly, I haven't bought the Expanse game yet. I've caught your podcast show a few times, and yeah, I think you're natural.
I'm definitely not. Jacques not. David's not. I could tell. Like some people just have that camera appeal or have a certain voice or a certain appearance, and I mean Jacques probably has it more than us two, me and David, that's for sure. So, because Jacques, you were messing around with the acting back in the day, weren't you?
Yeah, I do have like some acting experience, but not anything like Issa. Like I did theater, which it was funny when you were talking about theater, and you're like, I kind of don't like theater. Like I totally get what you're saying. It is fun, like for sure, but it's a different experience. Like I think the best part is just being alive with the audience. Like there's, there's no second takes. But yeah, so I did like 3 plays with community theater. This was like 15 years ago, by the way. This is not recent.
You're just a
I
baby.
did like, yeah, really. I did like one, I don't know. I was like a background actor for something. I honestly couldn't even tell you what it is. It was like one of those like high school, like Nickelodeon type shows. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
That was the only thing like kind of related to like on camera, like that I got paid for. And then what did I do? I did one other thing. I don't remember. It's so long
Hemorrhoid
ago.
cream commercial, something like that.
What'd you say?
Hemorrhoid cream commercial, something like that. No.
I'll do it if
I
they
do
want to
just
pay
no
me. I
shame
don't-
of it. What product is it? Sure,
Well-
I rub it all the time, and it works just great. Fantastic. You
Well,
should buy some.
that must be the reason why I keep getting put off as the Mater D.
But you know what though, like I have been considering going back to acting because like you said, Issa, when you just know. And I kind of have like been away from it for so long, but like the desire to do it has never left me. And I think that's like a big hint that maybe I should try to pursue that again. So kind of weighing those options right now. And like video game voice acting and performance capture would be amazing since I
Not to mention
pursue that.
Yeah. Age. I hate when some say like, "Oh, I can't do it. My age is this now." That don't mean shit.
No,
You know,
that
like
doesn't
how many
mean
people
anything.
have
No.
gotten into
No.
acting. There's stories. I don't know who. Was it Sylvester Stallone or so? I don't remember who it was, but like there was somebody like. There's a lot of stories of just people being on set cleaning or something, or one of the crewmen or something. They're like, "Hey, can you stand in for a second?" Bro, like, a perfect example of this in the gaming industry is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice with the main lead in that. She's a developer, and she was literally not classified even as an actor before they got her to do it. They were just like, "Hey, can you just stand in for a second? Because we don't know the whole reason why. Maybe someone was coming late, or they wanted somebody else to just stand in there real quick." She does it. They were like, "Oh, can you do it again? Do it again. Now this way." And then they found her, and then it's like, "No, you're going to be the main lead. You're nailing this character." And they found somebody on their own staff who was not an actor.
I'm going to throw out a very well-known name. I don't know if y'all know his story. Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Do you know his background? He didn't.
No.
He went to Hollywood to act, but didn't follow the whole traditional path. It wasn't until his late 30s, early 40s that he got his first role.
American
And
Graffiti, right?
no, Star
Wasn't that
Wars.
one?
Star Wars. That
Wasn't
was-
American Graffiti before Star Wars? He was in that though.
Mm-mm.
He's in that movie. I could have sworn that came out before Star Wars.
Star
Richard
Wars.
Dreyfuss was in it.
Star Wars was his very first movie,
Okay. Well,
And
that's not to be your first movie. Wow.
and
I know.
Lucas said that he was never, ever, ever, ever going to hire him but he had they asked him to stand in. He was a carpenter. He was working.
Yeah. That's right.
Doing building sets and remodeling homes and all that. Well, he was in the building one day, and they asked if he would stand in for an actor who wasn't able to be there, just to help this other actor who was trying out. Well, Harrison Ford ended up getting the role. That's what got him started.
That's crazy.
Late 30s, early 40s. It was a pure accident.
It happens probably more often than we think.
It does.
There's
It
a
does.
couple characters on Euphoria where they got cast, and that was the first thing that they had ever
Yeah.
done. Like not even like an acting class before that. Like Hunter
Mhm.
Schafer,
Yeah, Hunter Schafer. Yeah, I was gonna
and
say.
I think Angus Cloud too.
Really?
I think they approached. So I think a casting director saw him, and they just thought, would you be willing to audition? I could be totally wrong on this, but I think it was him where they asked him, would you be willing to audition? And he did, and he got the part. And I mean, he did the part so beautifully, and I'm sad that he's gone, but I'm glad that we at least got to see him as his character in Euphoria.
I still need to watch that show.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Never seen it. It's one of those things that just sits in your backlog, and you got a billion other things sitting in front of it. I don't
know that.
How am I going to get to this? I get anxiety looking at my backlog, whether it's in video games, movies, TV, books, whatever it is. It's just. Ugh.
Oh, Alana says she did theater in high school too. That's cool.
Oh, that's right. You were. Let me see. We've been bad with the chat. Let me get to the chat for a second. I'm sorry, guys. Alana's asking, is the game scary? I think she's talking about The Expanse. No.
Wow.
Is there a moment in it where there could be a little fear-inducing feeling in your stomach? Sure. But is the game, if you're asking, is the game like horror focused or anything? Like, no, it's not. It's not. So you don't have to worry about that. Oh yeah, you said there it is. I did theater in high school. Sweet. I remember you telling me this, Alana. I was on Barney when I was 5 years old for an episode that never aired. It was on how to treat others with disabilities.
Oh,
Okay.
really? That's
Hmm.
awesome. I used to watch Barney when I was a kid.
I mean, I have a Barney story, but
Oh, do you?
yeah, it was I don't remember. I may have said this in Issa's stream in the chat at one point, but I was at a kids party, maybe I was 6 years old at the time. And then I just remember one of the adults are like, "Oh, we have something amazing that's coming. Everybody's got to come in the middle of the room." Yeah. And then the door opens and it's a Barney that walks through. Someone's dressed up as a Barney, and it's an act. And from what I remember, it is not like a crappy Barney suit. It looks like it came right out of the show. And I remember standing right underneath Barney, and he looked down, and then this is where I realized I was lied to, because he looked down and I see the inside of his mouth and the person's head's in there, just looking down in there like this. I'm like, why is there a man inside Barney?
Oh,
That's,
I hate guts.
Well, my claim to fame was Captain Kangaroo.
You were on Captain Kangaroo? What? Yeah, I haven't heard this story.
So we would have on the show, they would have a group of kids sitting out front while he's reading one of his books. I was in the front row. I was on the end. It was just that one episode.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
Hey, Mumble. Welcome to the chat.
Hey, Mumble. I got another question for Issa. So, like, have you had any proper acting training? Okay, so you've taken like acting classes.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. I didn't start taking acting classes until 2018, I want to say.
Well,
But yeah,
didn't you take classes in high school?
Yeah, I mean like professional acting classes.
Different tier of
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little different.
I don't know. I mean, because at my high school, we had a professional actor as for our
Oh,
drama
really?
department.
Wow.
Two of them actually. It's like Dave McKenzie. He was on Broadway for a number of years, and he left New York and came to Missouri and was teaching. And then I can't Emily Dickens, that was her name. She was some show or whatever back in the late 80s or early 80s, and then she was teaching drama 2, drama 3, something like that. And they were wonderful people. You know, they did a lot for the Little Theater here in Southwest Missouri. Got that going, and then did a lot for Joplin in St. Louis and Kansas City, in promoting acting in the school system.
I wonder how common that is though to have that much like actual like acting talent be your teachers in high school.
Yeah.
It seems rare.
Not my high school.
Well,
my
heard of
tiny
that.
graduating class of 12 did not have that.
well, I don't know if you guys remember Nina Peebles. You ever heard of Nina Peebles? She was a singer, 1980s pop person. No.
No.
Sorry.
Oh my God,
That's even-
I'm really dating myself.
Well, I know that. I mean, you're around that time, kind of. So, I mean,
Okay, let's relax a little bit. I'm not that old, but
Okay, so Nina Peebles. I'm trying to remember some of the songs that she was really well known for. She was also an actress, but she was more known for her music career than her acting. As part of her charity thing, she would go around, and this applied for a lot of the other performance people, and would spend 6 months in particular areas teaching music. Because one year we had Nina Peebles as our choir director. You know, because I was involved in choir too. And it was really cool. I honestly, at the time, I didn't even know who Nina Peebles was until somebody started pointing out, oh, she's on the radio. And then she did a couple or several movies. One of them was, it was a surf movie, and being a surfer at the time.
I'm going to have to look this person up later. I've never heard of them.
But yeah, you know, that's just, like I said, it's dating me. That's so sad.
Okay. So all three of you have had some form of, well, obviously Issa is actor. Jacques, you've had some involvement with it. David, you said you did some stage stuff, stage stuff back in the day. Me, nothing. I mean, the closest I've ever done is maybe pretending I was like acting that I was sick, like when I was 7 or 8 years old. Is probably the closest thing I've done.
Probably your lifetime too. You probably nailed it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I know my brother was mildly into it for a little while. And I never really told me what he was like really doing. But the one time we did hear what he was a part of, he just did a stand-in for some scene in a film. I don't know the movie, but he was supposed to be it was a father and daughter scene, or just a father comforting her daughter that was sad. And I do know that the actor was Independence Day actor. I always forget his name. Bill, the president from Independence Day, Lone Star.
Oh yeah. Bill
Pullman.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
Pullman.
he had to stand in for his scene, and Bill wanted to watch him do it to kind of get an idea of how the scene was going to go and stuff like that. And that was like, after that, I didn't hear him do anything else. I think he just kind of was sadly pushed out of it from everything around him, just basically telling him, no, don't do this or do something else. This isn't you. And he kind of just, I always wonder, like, where could he have gone? Because, like, to get something like that very quickly, I'm just like, how did you get that quickly? I was like, okay, it was like, all right. But no, for me, no, I don't have any acting. So
Okay.
if somebody messaged me on my phone and asked, like, what, do you have anything? I'm like, no.
Nia Peebles. You guys are probably gonna. She was on Pretty Little Liars. She played
Okay.
Pam Fields.
Hold on. I would probably recognize her face if I saw it because I used to be obsessed with that show.
She played Nicole Chapman on Fame, the TV show Fame.
What's her name again?
Nia Peebles.
Is that NIA?
NIAPEEPLES.
Got it. For all you audio listeners, we are looking her up right now. Just let's see.
But back in '88,
Okay.
she released her first album, Nothing But Trouble. 91, and she did 2 more albums, but her hit songs were Trouble, High Time, I Know How to Make You Love Me, Street of Dreams, Kissing the Wind.
I do recognize her. I've seen her before, and I'm not sure where I've seen her from. But I know I'm very good with faces, names. No, not even. You could tell me a name. I'm like, who? And then I see the picture. Oh yeah.
I still don't recognize her for whatever reason.
What have I seen her in? Has she been on a sci-fi show or something? Because she looks very familiar. Let's see.
Great lady. You know, I was 15, 14 at the time. 14. But yeah, she took a year between her acting and singing career, and she went around the country as a visiting teacher.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I recognize her now. She plays Emily's mom in Pretty Little Liars,
Mm-hmm.
and Emily is played by Shay Mitchell.
Oh my God, that's where I recognized her from. Okay.
She's
Sorry. Continue. Sorry. My bad. Battle of Los Angeles was where I recognized her from. And it was the knockoff version of that one with Michelle Rodriguez was in that movie. What was that name? Battle LA?
It's like that the invasion, the alien invasion movie.
Yeah, it's the alien invasion
Yeah.
with the military fighting them off. They did a knockoff version of that, and I did watch it. That's what I've seen her in. She was in that, the knockoff version. Okay, I knew it was something sci-fi. I knew it. I was like, that face. I don't forget faces. All right. Okay. So, oh, let me get to the chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. This is, I got to compliment you on something you said. When I watch your streams, you actually focus in on the chat. You get most of it. And I don't know how you do it and keep up with it while playing in the middle of a match.
It is very stressful. It's very difficult.
Especially when you're trying not to get people killed at the same time.
Yeah. Well, and I was telling Potato 2 nights ago, I feel like I have streamer brain where when I get done with streaming, I'm still trying to focus on like too many things at once. And so he'll be telling me a story. I'm checking my email. I'm also making food at the same time. Oh, and the cat is pooping in the living room. And like, I'm trying to focus on all of these things. And it takes me a while to realize that I don't have to do that anymore. And I can just focus on one thing at a time. I also get weird streamer dreams.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's the worst. I hate it. Especially if I stream late into the night. I will dream that I'm streaming, but typically I will dream that I'm falling asleep on stream. So and it's so real because it's like I see everything that I see in front of me, except I'll just
What game
Hey
are you
guys,
playing
I'm
in
so
this?
sorry. Okay, so let's go over here and check out this thing. I hate it because I have all the anxiety of like, oh my gosh, I just fell asleep on stream in front of everybody
Yeah.
and everybody watched me fall asleep.
Honestly, people would like that.
It's like
It probably.
Then it creates this thing was like, are they alive? Well, let's see. Let's find out. Now it's turned into a game for them, and they're just like watching the person. No, they're moving. We're good.
that'd be
It's
like
fine.
dreaming about showing up in math class with no clothes on.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what that sounds? You know what that sounds like? Are you familiar with the actor's nightmare?
I get also a
Mhm.
reoccurring dream where I have 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be performing and I don't know any of my lines. Is that the one?
That is it. Where you basically forget your lines on stage. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I would say that is probably the streamer equivalent of that.
Yeah. Between the
Yeah.
two, I don't get a lot of sleep these days.
Oh, welcome to the club. I just got 3 hours last night. I got an hour
Perfect.
nap today, so I average
Well-
4 hours.
Maybe between the four of us, we can get a cumulative 8 hours.
Maybe 3 of us. Shot gets probably the most decent amount of sleep out
Yeah,
of
I
all
actually
of us.
don't have that much trouble. I feel kind of like bad about that. Like
Yeah,
I'm not in the in group of horrible sleepers, but
I just can't fall asleep. I don't know what it is. Like I can't. Well, it's health related, and it's stuff on your mind, and it's a bunch of other things. And sometimes
Mhm.
my brain just does not want to shut off. It is just active and firing like crazy
Mhm.
when I try to go lay down. It is, and the only way I can sleep is I literally have to get to the point where I'm going to pass out exhausted.
You and Potato.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Mhm.
Why? Anyways.
but to be fair though, like I do take edibles to sleep, so I highly recommend that if you're having problems.
That gives me an extra hour, believe it or not. Maybe I have to increase the amount, but like that only gives me an hour more than I usually get, which is like, that's it. Do I have to? Don't take as much as David, but no,
Yeah,
don't
it's
take
like-
50, 60, or no, I can't do that. But
Don't do what I did last weekend.
No.
No.
Okay, so comments. I don't know if we read this one, but I'll read it. Peabut said, I was in an acting class for like 2 weeks in high school, and me and my partner couldn't even get through the look at your partner and don't smile or laugh test. Oh, the serious face. Like
Oh,
we have to just stare down and look at each other for like a
Yeah.
good 30 seconds.
well, everybody's
Yeah, that-
telling you jokes around you, trying to get you to laugh. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
That's-
remember that.
I think I could pass that test because when I'm not supposed to laugh, I don't laugh. I've had people try to get me to laugh and I don't. I could just sit there with a dead face. So I think I'd be okay. As long as nobody's doing anything really crazy around me.
I have a funny story about that.
Yes. Tell us.
So when we were filming The Expanse, Deck Nine brought out Andy Norris. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who is.
I do. She's a stunt performer. She works on the Resident Evil games.
Yeah. So she's in a lot. Like her work is amazing. But they brought her out to do, because she also teaches a class in LA that's creature movement and motion, and she did kind of like a weekend crash course of those classes with us. And one of the exercises that we did with her was we had to personify the elements and like become the elements. We're all in this motion capture room, and it's like a group of, I don't know, maybe like 20 of us. And we have this like kind of weird Zen ethereal music playing, and we just like first we start out as fire, and everybody's, you know, big and like explosive, and then they're like, okay, now we're gonna do earth, and then everybody's like, and, you know, they like get closer to the ground, and then they're like, okay, now we're doing air, and so on and so forth through all of them. Like, ooh, and then we're doing water, and then it's ooh, and
I've taken a couple of those classes. Those are great.
and I just had this moment during all of this where I I ended up in a corner of the room and I looked back at everybody else and it's just a room full of people like and everybody's so serious about it. Like this is intense work we're doing. And I just had a moment where I was like, yeah, this is the career I chose.
What is that for?
It's to get you to relax and to let
Open up your
go
mind?
and just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
It,
to
like-
strengthen like your mind body connection too. I would think like get you more into your like.
No, the teacher that I had, and I'm sure yours that she explained it a lot better, but it was explained to me that that whole exercise is to get you out of your head and to just let go. Just go with the moment, go with the flow, relax, and have fun. The whole point is to have fun.
Don't be so serious. Let loose. Go.
Yeah.
Free your mind, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
Exactly.
It's a good class to take, but yeah, I remember in my classes it was 15 people, and we had a few people who were very dead serious about it, and it's just so funny watching them though.
Well, and that's what's funny about it is because everybody's taking it seriously. It's not like
Yeah.
we're doing this jokingly, like woo. There's
Right.
like we're dead
Yeah.
ass. We are fire. We are earth. We are air, and we are water, and we're good at it.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
they'll turn around and say, "Well, how does this relate to acting?"
Yes, exactly. Yep.
That's almost like, I don't know. It's not a good comparison at all, actually, but it reminds me of the movie Karate Kid when Miyagi is teaching. He wants to teach him like Danielson. I forget the actor's name who plays Danielson.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, Ralph Macchio's character. He's
Wipe
just like,
on, wipe
all right,
off.
I want to learn karate. He's like, all right, well, paint the fence, do this,
Mhm.
and just do that, and do this and that. And it's just like, why am I doing all of this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I not? You're not training me. And he's just, and then eventually,
Wipe on,
yeah.
wipe off.
Oh, why that made me think of that. That's scenes in the movie. But then eventually, it was just the kind of like he was basically resetting him, starting him from building him up from the ground, and then eventually he was going to train him to actually start. All those things he was doing were actual movements, actually. So like wipe.
Right. That's like blocking. It's they all had like purposes. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
So-
there's a method to the madness.
that's more into the muscle memory,
Yes.
you know.
But like being an actor though, I mean, really everything is you're collecting experience and you can add that to your repertoire, which you can pull from when you're acting. So that I would think that'd be helpful to your acting, you know?
I could see
That
that
makes
being.
sense.
You know what? I could see that being useful in a scene if your character is high as a kite on something, and they're just like just like flopping around stuff. I could see that being useful in that situation, actually. So
Well, one of the things that she actually talked about that I walked away with, like, and I still apply it to other roles that I've had, is how to get into a character, especially in a motion capture setting, because she, again, you're in this room and there's not props, you don't have costumes, all that. And one of the exercises that we did was going through, okay, who is your character? And then going through all of your senses as your character. So what does your character smell? Are they in a swamp? Does it smell swampy? Are they in a bedroom and there's a candle being lit? Is your character, what are they hearing? Are they listening to music right now? Are they at battle? Are they in a kitchen? And going down your senses and placing yourself where that character is. And for me, I thought that was super helpful, and just understanding your environment, your character, and how to apply that to the scene that you're in.
Oh,
So I appreciated that.
I'm sorry if I'm laughing in the background. You reminded me of this prank that one of our actors did it in the studio. It's like they were trying to do the same thing, but one of the producers brought in a fart scented candle.
Why? Well, why not? I should be saying, why not?
Well, they were trying to be a little too serious with their characters. It's like, I don't remember what the scene was, but
I was smelling something really bad. Like it was probably like a decomposing body or something, and he was like, "We just bring this in and smell it,"
or something. I don't remember, but yeah, and they brought that in. Everybody just started cracking. I was like, "Oh my god, I can smell it! I can smell it!" It was just going on. So yeah, I it just reminded me of that.
It's like the "Do you smell popcorn?" prank.
Yeah. Well, we've had a lot of actors who have come in and just very prankish, doing pranks and jokes all day long. Sometimes it made it really difficult to get anything work done.
I always like my favorite in theater was like dress rehearsal. That's when you've basically the play through and through. This is like your final run through in costume before you do the show. Because that was like, okay, we all know what we're doing, so we're just gonna have fun. We're just gonna like let loose. We're just gonna like improvise some stuff and just have fun at the last moment. So,
yep. Once again, I'm still terrible with the chat. Sorry, guys. Let me see.
See, that's our problem. We get so sidetracked.
Oh yeah, I could just keep you going. Let's see. P-Butt said, imagine your first. We'll do kind of like a speed through some of the small ones because there's a lot here. Imagine your first role being Star Wars. Yeah, I can't even imagine that, honestly.
Right.
Think of her only role actually was with the something Newt, Carrie Newt. I think that's her name. That was the girl in Aliens, the James Cameron movie. Carrie Ann. Thank you. Or Newt's her character. I don't know why I combined both of them. Yeah, that was her only role too, and it was in Aliens '86. We want to consider like one of the best movies ever made. It's crazy. Let's see. Alana said, Mumble's in the chat. Saw that. Alana said, I did a little bit of everything from acting, modeling, singing competitions, and sports. Nice.
Awesome.
Can't sing for shit. Don't ask me to sing.
Yeah.
No.
Don't do it. Mm-mm.
What about you? Can you sing, Issa?
I can if it's karaoke night.
Yeah. Do you have to get a little bit of liquid courage in you first?
Yeah. Well, I did theater I did musicals in high school.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I enjoyed it, but I don't consider myself a professional at all. I can carry a note, and that's about it.
I haven't sung since.
Let's see. I'm not sure what this is referring to. What does she play? Let's see. Let me go back. See, this is what happens when you wait too long.
We were talking about Nia.
Oh,
yeah, it was Nia.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay. Potato is in the chat. This potato right here. Let's see. Greetings. Okay. Yeah. This is so outdated. Some of these. I apologize.
Hopefully they're entertained at least.
If you can do that, you can do any scene without being embarrassed. Oh, you're talking about the candle thing? Probably. Yeah.
Oh, probably the woo
element.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Potato Isaac, he said, I feel like every career has you stepping back and looking at it strangely at one point or another. That is very true. I agree with that. That goes for really anything. And then Urkel, of course, ends it off with wax on, wax off. Karate Kid reference. So, I don't know. Let me just yes, Karate Kid. Thank you, Urkel. I'm just gonna shift gears right now because I've completely forgot to mention it. the game I was playing, I just want to mention it real quick. I started that new RoboCop game that came out a couple months ago. It was back in October, I think it came out. And Jock, I know you're a big RoboCop fan. I mean, the city of Detroit literally has a statue of RoboCop. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, we do, a giant bronze statue, which took years to find. I think they finally have it set up. Yeah.
So if you know anything about RoboCop, I mean, I'm not going to explain what RoboCop is, but when it comes to like video games, not a good history of video games. RoboCop, just a lot of bad ones. Not a lot of, a few bad ones. So this was the first one I played where it actually could take advantage of like modern day graphics to a certain degree, and I don't know if they got any of the original actors in this. I don't think it sounds like them, so I'm going to say no.
No, I'm pretty sure Peter Weller actually did the voice for RoboCop. Yeah.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
the
I think
thing that
he
throws
did.
me off is, when you get older, your voice changes a little bit. So that probably like, so they altered it to still sound like RoboCop, but I guess I didn't pick it up. Okay, so I was wrong about that. Anyways, the game is, it's hard to put it into words. Like, if you just want like a good, decent RoboCop game, this is it. And this is the best one that's ever been made, like hands down. But you have to, and once again, keep your expectations in check, because it is a low budget game. It looks nice enough. Well, one thing I did notice though, David, or anyone who's going to play this, the game is set on quality mode by default.
Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, that means that the frames are lower and all that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's not the problem. The problem is, on quality mode, the cutscenes don't run very good. I just noticed the cutscenes weren't running well at all, and they're like glitching out and stuff. Like, what's going on? And then I turned it to performance, and then it's just went away. So, anybody who starts that game, switch the setting. It's going to run better.
I never play on quality anyway. I need the higher frame rates.
I guess it depends on the game, though, isn't really? So, depends on the game. So, yeah, it's RoboCop. I really don't know what to say about it. Like, it's RoboCop. It feels like you're RoboCop. One thing I found very interesting about the game, and it has nothing to do with the game itself, it's just a preference thing. Normally, when I play, I don't know about you guys, but when I play a game, I immediately go to the sensitivity settings and the movement of the character, because I don't like how it feels. I want to up it and make sure I can turn faster and stuff like that. When you play the game, when you play it for the first time, it's slow and sluggish. You're moving around like this, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. And then when I was about to go change it, I realized, wait a second, I'm RoboCop. That's how he moves. He moves like this, and it's slow movement. So same for the aim sensitivity. It's like there is an auto aim in the game. Then I guess you can turn it off, but then I realized, wait a minute, RoboCop has auto aim. He locks on the guys and is instant like shooting them. So normally the stuff I would change in every video game I play, I left it alone because it actually enhances the experience. It makes you feel more like RoboCop. So don't change any of those settings, basically. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's besides Jack. I don't know if either of you are RoboCop fans or have seen the movies, the original.
No,
You've never seen RoboCop?
I've never seen RoboCop.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of movies that I have not seen.
Well, same with me. I mean, that's true. I shouldn't be surprised because I'm the same way with movies. So that is try to carve that into your movie schedule at one day. Try to watch the original RoboCop, not the new one that came out in, what Jacques was like 2015 or 14 or something.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
don't remember, but yeah, I would ignore that one. Just watch the original.
Don't watch that one, but
it's very like it's violent. I don't know if you like violent movies, but it's got a lot of action, but it's very funny too because it's like parodying a lot of stuff. It's it's like kind of commenting on it's like social kind of like how it's actually very relevant today because it talks about how like corporations have basically taken over everything.
Yeah.
And even they've go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because the newer movie Actually, in many ways, like it a lot better than the original. The original, for me, was very dated. You know, it's like, look at you. It's like at the time it was it was current and everything, but this, you know, back in the 80s. But now, you know, it's very dated. The story's very dated. The newer one I thought was more up to date, more current, more hitting more of the world events type concerns. Back in the 80s, it was crime.
Well,
You know,
Detroit
which-
is crimey place at
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah.
so they made a movie.
Yep, I
robotic-
can attest to that. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just nostalgic for the original, though. I'm sure you can understand.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like the Judge Dredd. You know, the original.
Yeah.
Was very good. Dredd, it's good in its own right. It's just more updated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still playing it. I'm like halfway through the game. It gets repetitive, of course. Like it gets samey what you're doing as RoboCop. But if you're just looking for that, if this was like you've been wanting a RoboCop game for the longest time that's decent, this is it.
This is the one.
This is the one. Like this is the one to play. You feel at the only thing they needed to do is, do you feel like RoboCop in the game? Yes, you do feel like RoboCop. So they got that right. But
I heard that, like, because in the first RoboCop movie, there's this scene where RoboCop comes upon this like gangbanger like trying to like rape a woman, and like he ends up like shooting the dude in the dick. So like in the game, they actually like they treat dick shots like headshots.
yes, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
they do more damage. Like,
There's an achievement for hitting him once. There, yeah.
there's an achievement for hitting someone in the dick. Okay, cool. I mean, if that doesn't sell you on the game, then I don't know what will.
Yeah. So they put out a decent one, and I'm glad, because their last game I didn't like. It was the Terminator game that was not very good. So it seems like they've realized they try to focus more on what people like about these movies, and with Terminator, it wasn't so much about the survivors and the future world. Like people didn't really care for that. Even though that's a cool component to the Terminator storyline, it just didn't really work so well in a game. But RoboCop's like, okay, you have to be RoboCop, and I think they did a very good job for what it is. Just don't expect anything amazing out of it. There was one thing I didn't tell this to David. I don't like to talk about news stories, but it just happened recently. For the Suicide Squad game, David. So that game comes out on the 2nd, I think. This is the Suicide Squad Justice League game. And I noticed the articles were starting to come up that all of the reviewers are not getting early review copies. And they straight up just told IGN, we're not giving you one. So because IGN was critical of the game, so they just like, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
That doesn't bode very well for the game, I don't think.
Well, no, I don't think that's fair. You know, you got all of these influencers out there who they see video game pre-alpha demonstrations, and they base their whole opinions on these clips that were made 8 months ago that aren't even relevant anymore, and they will start dogging the game, and if they don't get their free copy before the game release, then
it's true, they get upset.
Then we're gonna be pissy, and we're going to dog and tear this game apart and make everybody believe it, and everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and they don't even know anything about the game. So IGN is very well known for doing just that.
Okay. All right.
So don't base your opinion or judgment on a game until you have seen what the release, gameplay video or
when you officially get it in your hands and you're playing the game, like, for the first time. Okay.
Then make your judgment.
Okay.
You know,
I just
because that's going to lead me into the game that I've been trying to play here recently. Lord of the Rings: Return to Moria.
Don't know that.
Sucks. Okay, so being a Lord of the Rings fan, I was stupid and did the Gollum thing and sucked. That one just absolutely sucked.
Yeah,
okay,
it wasn't good.
The Return to Moria, the story is really good. It's like you are the dwarves coming back to Moria to reclaim the mountain, and you get stuck underground and you have to survive while kind of making your way through the mountain. Okay, so the first time I played through, I gave it an hour, ended up dying several times because the way they start you out just is really, really bad. It
happens. It's unfortunate, but
there's like happens. Virtually no tutorial. They give you virtually no equipment, because you fall into this hole. You're now stuck in this big cavern, and you can't really see anything. And the tutorial's like, okay, well, you need to craft a torch. Okay, well, you have no resources or anything in your possession, so you kind of have to go around looking for pieces of wood scrap and metal scrap and to make your torch. And then once you do, then you have to make your, collect whatever you need to make a pickaxe so that you can dig through this wall. And then when you get through that wall, you have to be careful that you don't get killed by these wolves. And your pickaxe isn't a weapon, so you're punching these wolves and you're like one hit. And they're going at you like 20 hit points, and you're dead. So you end up starting all over again. You can get to your dead body and pick things up and maybe get onto a little further, and then you die again because wolves or orcs or whatever
fun.
That's coming at you. There's bats and there's rats and
none of these guys, none of the pink ones show up in it. No, none of the flamingos.
No, it's like today I thought, okay, I'm going to give this another try. It's like that first hour a couple weeks ago, maybe that wasn't fair. So I went and started a new character, started over knowing, okay, well, this is what I'm going to face. And in 4 hours, I died probably 9 times just trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, that doesn't sound interesting to me, honestly. So.
Unfortunately, I have to agree. It's a bad game. The whole survival. There's no story.
Survival is a very survival game is a very tricky thing to make. It's not. Oh, like the game you're playing, Issa. Well, it's not. I mean, you could kind of call it a survival game. You're trying to survive, but like you like to play Dead
by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
What draws you into that game? Is Dead by Daylight. What was the thing that got you hooked that wanted you to keep playing it? Because you play it a lot on your stream.
I do play it a lot. I play it too much.
Maybe too much.
I do. I know this is a problem. I don't know. I don't know why I keep going back. It's. I feel like it has a very high replayability because there's endless amounts of combinations of other people you could play with, which obviously gives you different situations and puts you in different situations. Ton of different survivor perks and killer perks and maps and items. And so it's not every match is the same.
Right.
And I think just getting better at the game. I'm a very competitive person by nature. And so just this desire to want to get better at the game. And it's just those moments of like when you finally you know work together as a team and you communicated well and you got out, you know, and escaped the killer. Those moments are what keeps me coming back. Because really the game is incredibly, I don't want to say toxic, but like there's a lot of toxicity in the game.
You're not
toxic
wrong.
killers.
Toxic killers, but toxic survivors too. Like both sides are just sometimes.
What's toxic about the survivor? Now the killers, I understand what they're like. They do some things that are kind of toxic, but what would you say is toxic about the survivors in that game? What are they
I
doing?
think just general BMing, any kind of like, you know, teabagging.
Okay.
I mean, they talk about like bully squads with survivors and you know, flashlight gangs where all they want to do is just blind and stun the killer the entire game, which having recently started playing killer and being on the receiving end of that is terrible. Like when you're going up a semi-decent squad that knows how to use flashlights or flashbangs and is somewhat good at looping, it's not fun at all. I just want to give up and go stand in a corner. And I have on multiple occasions because it's not fun.
No, you're right.
And you know, it's on both ends. It really is. And I think the game is as balanced as it's. And I'm going to probably get some flack from people that are probably in the chat right now for saying that the game, you know, is probably as balanced as it has been in a while. Although it does still feel killer-sided at times. I don't know. It's just, I don't know why I do it. I don't know why
you like. I mean, it's an obvious thing. You like playing the game.
I do.
Yeah.
If you like a game, you're gonna naturally want to keep playing it. So
It's like high stakes hide and seek, which like we all played that when we were young. So
Yeah,
it makes
really
sense.
is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's just the desire because looping is a big part of it and evading the killer. And when I first started, when anybody first starts, they don't know how to loop the killer because naturally the killer is faster than the survivor. And so you have to figure out, you know, how am I supposed to outrun or get away from this killer if they're faster than me? That's physically impossible. But then you start watching other streamers and you start watching videos and you start learning the maps and you're like, oh, there's some strategy behind this. And, you know, I can go over here and I know that there's a pallet and I know that there's an LT wall that leads to a window and, you know, I can fake the killer out here. And so I think that aspect of it and just wanting to get better at the game is what keeps me coming back.
I mean, that was like that with you and me, Jacques, with the Friday the 13th game. We would I wasn't a toxic Jason in that, but I would piss people off very quickly because there was only so many maps in the game, and I started to remember where the spawn points were. So when the match start, I don't even, because some people when you start as Jason, you can grab some knives in the shed and stuff and like kind of like prepare yourself. I didn't even do that. I'm just like map, teleport, here we go. I'm here, guys. Let's go. Like, and they don't even have anything, and I'm running and they just scatter around, and I can knock out like 3 guys right in the beginning of the match. And I wouldn't do like the long executions either. I would do just the instant punch the head and then move on to the next guy and then move on to the next guy. So people didn't like me. I don't think. I used to get messages and then they didn't
I
like
do
me.
remember, Mike, the one time like you were Jason, you were chasing me. I was definitely a toxic survivor or counselor because I wanted to like shove it down your throat because sometimes like, you're a great gamer. Like you're very good at video games. So so I kind of wanted to show you up because like sometimes you're a try hard. So I was like, okay. So I was definitely like looping you, and then I would like fake you out, and then get you to bite, and then I would hit you in the head with a bat, and then I would definitely teabag you for sure when you were down, just to make sure you knew.
The thing, here's the difference though. You play a lot with me, so you kind of know some of my gaming behavior. These random people do not know. So I went in there, I swooped in, and I took them all out. There has been many times, if you're on the survivor side, I was Jason, like many times I wipe out the entire team and Jacques the last guy standing. He'd be like, wait, it's 3 minutes in. Like, what's going on? Like, no, they're all gone.
I knew you were gonna get me, but I was gonna try to make it. You were gonna have to work for it. I was gonna make it as hard as possible.
You did make me work for it, and I appreciate that because I wanted to be Jason a little bit longer. So and it's fun.
Am I understanding, Jacques, that he's been taking it pretty easy on me when I'm playing with y'all?
What do you mean?
I mean, Mike, do you want to answer that?
What do you mean by taking it easy? Oh, what do you mean by taking it easy? Like, am I like saying, good job? He jumped over the cliff though and hit his face. And what? Good job, man. Is that what you're talking about? Like that kind of?
No,
because we don't fight each other in the game. We're on the same team. So
true.
I don't know what you mean by that.
But also, David is like probably high on edibles, just driving in a tank, just running people over. He's just living his best life. And,
oh, I was doing that last night. So
everybody has a strength, and David's is just like driving wildly in a tank and running people over.
Now that Friday the 13th is essentially dead, that game, I want to try one of these games again, and maybe I will check out Dead by Daylight again. It's been so long since we played. I think we played it, Jacques, when it was in, I don't want to say vanilla state, but it was like when they just started giving out the first wave of characters. I think like Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. That's when we were playing it.
Aren't they doing a revamp of the game now?
Well, they're constantly updating it because they're like,
constantly adding new elements.
Yeah, but I think they were. Where did I see the article? They were talking about not only adding more trademark stuff, but they were going to revamp. They're
doing the story mode. What's not a mode? It's a whole game.
They're doing the story version of one. The what is it?
It's like the casting of Frank.
Something
like that.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Well, they're also adding a new game mode here in.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I think it might just be for an event. I don't think it's going to be like a permanent change. Although a lot of DVD players have been asking for various game modes, like 2v8 instead of 4v1.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel
that would be nice. That kind of be an interesting dynamic, I think. I still play that game from time to time because my friend Susan loves that game. She plays it all the time. So
I didn't know you still played it. Now I got to download
it. Yeah, I still play it. It's fun. Yeah, you should re-download it, Mike. Like it is. I love when like the adrenaline, like when the killer's tunneling you, and like you're trying to like lead them away from your teammates so they can get the gens done and stuff. It's like the adrenaline's going. Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, I think I'm looking at a 4-man Swift right in front of me. So
maybe. The thing I'd be more interested in is if we went up against Issa as she's the killer, as we have absolutely no idea what the hell we're doing. How long will it take her to take us all out?
We'll have to be sure to carry our flashlights and be toxic survivors.
And just teabag me the entire time.
Yeah, I'll re-download it. I've been mildly more interested in trying another one of those type of games that 4v1 or that, what do they call that type of game, Jacques?
Asymmetrical.
There you go. Like, I don't want to play Evolve. That game's servers are gone, but nothing like that. But
they've added a lot since the last time you played, Mike.
Okay. Well, I've been seeing it. Like, I mean, the fact that they have aliens, the xenomorph in there, I know
the xenomorph. Yep.
That's enough for me to want to play. Alan Wake is in there now.
They did freaking Chucky from Child's Play, like the little doll.
My favorite was Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the original characters were good too. The original killers.
Yeah, they are. Some of them are kind of cheap. What's the one that's like singing?
Oh, the Huntress? No, she's a classic. She's a favorite.
I feel like she's like easy to use. Well, I can't say that because I've never used her, but just watching other people. Maybe I'm just watching other people who are really good with
she's
her.
a lot harder to play than it looks.
Okay.
Because you don't have
hatchets.
crosshairs or anything. Like you just
That's
I
right.
don't know.
Well, I hate to be the party pooper, but we're at 3 hours.
All right. One more thing
Believe it
I
or
will say
not.
about DBD before we tune down. How do they keep getting all these IPs? Some of them are like really hard to get. Like really hard to get. Like how are they getting all of them?
I have no idea.
What kind
I
of
just-
communications going on between them and the IP holder? Like I'm just very curious about that.
Uh,
I want
know.
them to get one with the Expanse.
that would be
who would they?
cool.
I have no idea.
Who would they? The survivors I can get. There's a lot of people to pick from, but I'm trying to think like the
Oh, I know.
killer who.
I know. It's one of the infected thingy mabobbers in that one episode where the Martians see it on the planet. Something gets broken.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something
yeah.
comes out and attacks everything. It would be something like that, probably.
Something
but
with the proto-molecule, like
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I would love to know how they're doing it because I know some of those IPs are grueling to get, and this seems like they just get it like that.
they keep pulling it out of their back pocket, like the Xenomorph and Chucky and Alan Wake, all within a year's time.
That's they could just keep going. There's so many characters.
Nicolas Cage, yeah, and Nick Cage too.
Mm.
Just
That was
because.
a weird one.
Just
And it was
because.
like, wasn't it like literally like Nicolas Cage too, as Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, he was just Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
But apparently it's because his son is a big Dead by Daylight.
Right.
He's like,
Yeah.
hey,
Player.
Dad, can you? I know this is gonna sound weird, Dad. He's like, whoa, what is it? What is it? I can't do Nick Cage's voice. He's like, can you reach out to the people who make this game? I want you to be in it. I want to be you, Dad, in this game. I want to run around, and that's what I want. I would like to hear that conversation. Oh, okay.
Hey, would you guys be mad at me if I take a bathroom break?
Well, we're
Well,
running down.
we're
Actually,
we're
right now.
wrapping up.
So,
We
I
got
literally am going to pee my pants, so I will
All
try
right.
to make it back.
shut the camera off. There is one thing I have to do anyway before we end the show. So every week we do give away some games. Well, it's in the Facebook group. Private group. We do have we do weekly giveaways there because we give out games. By the way, I am going to be going around Twitch again, giving out some games. Hiding. I've been sending let's call them agents out to find people who are in a really rough shape or not feeling well or whatever the reason might be, and they're just kind of down and out. I have gotten some reports back of some potential candidates. I'm going to go sneak in there and give them games. But anyways, yeah. So besides all that, and we do occasionally give away games in our own group because we literally have. I can't stress to you guys how many games we have to the point where like I don't know what to do with them at this point. It's just hundreds of keys. So last week we did do a giveaway from some of our community donors, which is awesome of them. They wanted to do a giveaway in the group for one's from us actually. It was Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate came from us, and the other one was donated by. Let me pull up I should have had this on my phone already. I apologize. Give me a second. Going here. Here. 1 second. There we go. Oh, so the other game was Ghost Runner, which I believe was donated by. I want to say Brent in the community. I won't say his whole name. Brent or James. I'm sorry. It's one of you guys. But yeah, I do have the winners here for the Facebook group. I'm going to reveal them right now. Let's see. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Philip Hopkins, and Ghost Runner is Jason Scott Swindell. I know you're here.
Sweet. I know he'll enjoy that one.
So congratulations, guys. I will get once I have time. I will get you some keys out to those for those two. I will announce this week's games that's coming up. The 3 games that we'll be giving away. I'll reveal the winners next Sunday, as always. Batman Arkham Knight Premium Edition, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. This was donated by James, And Tasha in our community donated. She wanted to give out WWE 2K23.
Sweet.
So, the new one is around the corner, by the way. It comes out in March. So, but guys, like in the chat, if you know of anyone who's going through a rough time, let me know and confirm it too, because I don't say what you're doing or whatever, but I want you guys to go scout out for me wherever it is. We give out plenty of games to people who are having a rough time in life. So you'd be surprised, a little game like a game can really put somebody in a much positive moment in their life. Like it could just switch them. I have many stories of that. We have a lot of games to give out. I want people to actually have a happy moment. So, and we'll be doing more of this kind of stuff, not just giving out games. We have plans to do more with Boundless Gamers. I can't go into it all, but we are on the path of becoming a gaming charity. I can't go into the details of all of that, but it's going to happen in the near future. So, and I have certain things, me and David have certain things happening in the background that hopefully we can talk about one day, but we can't talk right now.
It's just a slow process.
It's a very complicated process, actually.
Very. Yes.
I don't even want to begin to tell how complicated that is. But anyways, yeah. So anyway, Jacques not back yet. I was trying to kill some time for Jacques, but he's probably dropping 50 ounces right now. So, there I see it. There he is. He's back. Okay. So, I was about to say Isa. Thank you so much for joining us. This was it was really fun having you. You're welcome back anytime, of course.
Absolutely.
And,
we may have to come in and raid your show sometime.
Yeah.
I would rage. I can't raid you now because you're here. That wouldn't make sense.
No.
Thank you guys so much for letting me crash your party tonight. I had a lot of fun. You guys are all awesome people, and I'm very glad that I joined Twitch and was able to meet you guys, because I mean, you guys have just been great and wonderful to talk to and learn about Boundless Gamers.
Yeah, and like we said earlier in the podcast, just keep pushing at it. You're going to get more roles. You'll get more roles in the gaming industry. I'm convinced.
Absolutely.
I've seen the patterns of how all it takes someone has to do is just one thing, and the door will open up. It is open. It's just the person hasn't walked through yet the door. So the door is open for you. And I hope you're in more games, because I want to make sure I don't kill you in other games by accident. Too,
How could you, Mike? How could you?
That is how I discovered. That's how I discovered your channel.
Well,
Looking up what did I do wrong in this game. I'll just say, in the Expanse, there's potential deaths in the game. Okay, just depending on your decisions and what you do. And that happened to me. Isa's character went bye halfway through the game for me. So I looked it up, and I'm just like, what did I do wrong? I see somebody in the chat saying, hey, this person's streaming. That's all they said. Hey, this person's streaming. And I never click on links in anything. I just think it's all spam at the end of the day. And then for some reason I clicked on it. You were streaming. I watched you. I was like, oh, this is a cool person. I'll subscribe. I watched you for a little bit. And then I came back the next time. I didn't even realize you were in the game. I was just like, I didn't find that out until early. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's awesome. So yeah, that's how I met Isa. Was through a Reddit post that somebody probably that's in your community just left it in the chat. So
Potato.
Was it Potato?
That was Potato.
So Potato went through all the Reddit posts and just put links in there.
Like he's my biggest fan. I don't know what he did. He said he posted it on Reddit. I don't have a Reddit. So
that's
I don't
probably
know.
It then. All right, Potato. Well,
I met her with her making a Halloween costume. So.
Oh God!
I wasn't there. I wanted to see that. I saw a little clip of it, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" I noticed you took it down the stream. I was very disappointed about that.
Wait, what was the costume?
It was King Ramses from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Okay.
And it was, I don't know why I just got hyper focused on wanting to be King Ramses. I just thought it would be so funny. Then I thought it would be funny to stream it, me getting ready.
It was.
I just can't believe that was the first impression of me. Oh God.
I don't know if I walked into your stream doing that. If you're doing that, I don't know where we'd be right now. Let's be honest. Being completely honest, I'd be okay. This is different.
It was great. Yeah. It was great.
I didn't see it though. Unfortunately, I think I was sick that night, and I didn't. And it figures that's the one you take down. I wanted to see that. Well, there is a clip. I did see a little bit of it, but
yeah. I didn't take it down. I just have it set so like my VODs disappear after 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Twitch does.
Yeah.
I'm so used to YouTube not doing that.
I know,
It just
I know.
archives everything. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you everybody in the chat for. Wait, I'm gonna read Potato's thing real quick. What are you guys Twitch handles so I can follow if you have them?
Well,
just follow Boundless Gamers on Twitter, Instagram. I highly recommend the Facebook private group, honestly, everybody that's in here, because that is the most active thing we do, and there is a very big size community now that's in there, and we have a bunch of fun in there, games, whatever. It's that if you're going to, I mean, by all means, follow us everywhere, but I'm just saying, if you're going to follow us, the main one I recommend is the private group on Facebook. Look that one up. I do not have the link. Alana, you are here, and I know you are always a champion with this. Could you please share the link into the chat? Because I'm lazy and I'm tired, and I'm counting on you. You're like an honorary moderator right now. I just haven't done it yet. I'm lazy.
Yeah,
so
and
please.
We do publish all of our videos on our Facebook page, and
right.
Tonight's will be, as soon as I get it downloaded and reformatted, it'll be uploaded tomorrow.
But
I think he was I don't know if he was referring to like our individual ones, which in that case Mike doesn't stream, David does not stream. I do, but I haven't done it in a while because I was taking some time off. Personal reasons. My father died and I was going through grief and all that. But I am going to be coming back to streaming soon because I just got a brand new spiffy computer and all that jazz. So I'll just go ahead and put my Twitch in the chat. But it's Kipsock. Like it's my name that I use. You could just click on my name. I'm Kipsock pretty much everywhere.
Let me see if I do this right this time. I'm going to shout out Isabel's a Bravocado.
Yes.
This is how terrible I am. Bravocado channel on here. So
we need to make sure we get her advertised.
Let's see. Bravocado. Am I doing this right? So it's forward / shout out and then the name, correct? Am I doing this right? Space name? Okay.
I think so.
This is how new I am to this shit. So.
Like Issa probably knows more than us when it comes to this stuff. So
there you go. She's up there. Please give her a follow so we can watch her get all the characters killed, the quarry and stuff like that. So she's very entertaining. I really like her channel, and hope it grows even more. When I saw your channel, I'm like, you should have more numbers than this. You really should. So please help her out. Hit that follow, like, all that stuff. But thank you everybody who's joined us tonight. And once again, thank you guys for talking with me. I know you could be doing so many other things tonight, but you decided to chat about random shit. So anyways, that's it. I'm never good at ending things. So I'm just going to say bye. Thank you again, Issa, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Issa. David. This was awesome.
Thanks. It was great having you.
Night, guys. Have a good one.